Good evening and welcome to another meeting of the school committee for today, August 4, 2026. Members, before we start, let me establish a quorum. Mr. Pina.
Here.
Ms. Hazak.
Here.
Ms. Rodriguez.
Here.
Ms. Oliver.
Here.
Mr. Gomes.
Here.
Ms. Centello. She not on? Sandra, are you on? Mr.
That's Darryl.
Sullivan.
It's Darryl.
Okay.
He just said here.
All right, and I'm here as well. Before we begin, I just want to make sure that I read this into the agenda. I want to welcome everybody, members and guests, to our meeting. This is the agenda that we'll be discussing today. We will have a hearing of visitors. There's two people that actually signed up to speak, and you each have about 3 minutes to speak. Additionally, the folks at home can watch us on Channel 8 in Channel High Definition 1071, and also via the YouTube in the Brockton channel. The first person that we have that signed up to speak is Jennifer Owen.
Good evening, members of the school committee. My name is Dr. Jennifer Owen. I'm speaking tonight as a proud middle school special ed and math educator, a union representative, a mother, and someone who works with our students every day. I'm here because I believe we need to take an honest look at what is happening to some of our students as they leave elementary school and enter middle school. Last year, I served as a 7th and 8th grade co-teacher at North Middle School in the math classroom. I love my job. I love my school, I love the district, but most of all, I love my students. As the year went on, I started to notice something very concerning to me. I was personally working with several students who lacked prerequisite decoding literacy and numeracy skills. Some simply could not read. They did not know their math facts. They struggled and some were embarrassed. At the same time, we are required to teach a rigorous, high-quality instructional curriculum designed around grade level standards. The reality is, the lack of foundational skills makes it extremely difficult for many students to access the curriculum and make meaningful academic gains, even when teachers provide accommodations, scaffolds, interventions, and differentiated instruction. As a special educator, I'm required to administer academic tests for students who have been referred for special education services. There are several qualifying under a specific learning disability because they are testing 2 and 3 years behind grade level. These students are not incapable. In many cases, they simply have had not enough time, not enough support, not enough intervention, or opportunities to master the foundational skills they need to be successful. As educators, we see the consequences every day. Students become frustrated because they are expected to perform grade level work while trying to fill the gaps that may have begun years earlier. Over time, those gaps widen, competence decreases, and students begin to disengage from school. I am respectfully asking the committee to examine the district's policy regarding intervention, promotion, and retention so we can ensure that students receive the support they need during the years when learning is most critical. I'm not advocating for widespread retention. I am advocating for earlier intervention, smaller class sizes, targeted support, increased instructional time, and thoughtful, individualized decisions that prioritize student success. Our students deserve better, and I hope we are willing to have that conversation. Thank you for hearing me and responding to my concerns. I would like to leave some informational handouts.
The next speaker is Peter Vuano.
I'm Peter Vono. I taught here at Brockton High in special education for 34 years, 1 year in New Hampshire, 1 year in the Downey, and I think this is my 12th year doing home teaching here in this city. I'm here to speak for special needs kids. In the early 2000s, with the inception of the MCAS test, we found that our kids, the special kids, could not take them or pass them. So they were given alternative assessment portfolios in lieu of the MCAS test. It's a 3-inch thick giant compendium of English, math, and biology, and the specifications were according to the state, and it took the kids all year long to do them. Okay, there was only one problem. Ironically, first, these helped the accountability rating of Brockton High School immensely so, because they were so well done. But unfortunately, we found that when these kids graduated, they didn't get a diploma. They got a certificate of attainment. I can't tell you how bad I felt when I saw one of my home students' moms cry in front of me because her kid got a certificate of attainment. You know, when I went to college and when I got my first degree, I was always taught to try to normalize these kids, make them as closely associated to the main body as possible. But a certificate of attainment, it doesn't do that. It stereotypes, it stigmatizes. So I'm here asking the school committee to please consider a resolution to give any special needs child that puts in an alternative assessment portfolio a bona fide diploma. I think what we have now holds their self-esteem back. They have enough problems to begin with. So thank you so very much for letting me speak.
I believe that those are the only two individuals that we had.
Yes.
So let's go on with our agenda. Our first item is a report from the superintendent of schools.
Good evening, everyone. I hope everybody is having a good summer. I have just a few highlights today and some other important topics that we want to start to think about before we start our school year. So to start, through a collaborative effort among leaders from BPS and Edison Academy, as well as state and community partners, Edison hosted a Credit for Life fair for students, giving them a hands-on opportunity to explore the financial realities of adulthood. The Credit for Life fair was made possible through grant funding and gave students a chance to speak with financial experts about the power of budgeting and financial planning. At the fair, students used an interactive app to navigate stations and explore budgeting for expenses like housing, health and wellness, entertainment, transportation, and more. Thank you to Rockland Trust, the Massachusetts Division of Banks, and Edison leaders and BPS Grants Manager Cam Jackson for collaborating to make this extraordinary event possible. Congratulations to all of our students who took part in this year's Power Scholars program at the Hancock School. Power Scholars is an opportunity for rising 2nd through 5th graders to not only avoid the summer slide, which is the learning loss that comes with extended time out of school, but also to actually gain several months' worth of progress in their literacy and math skills. Power Scholars is made possible through the partnership we enjoy with Old Colony YMCA. The program sets a goal of helping students gain 1 month's worth of literacy and math skills, but last year, on average, students demonstrated 2 to 3 months of progress between pre- and post-program testing. Congratulations to the students in the Empower Yourself Investment Club who once again dominated the nationwide investing competition and earned spots in the competition's 1,000 Dares Club. The stock market contest is an annual competition that enables students to trade mock stocks of real-world companies doing their own analysis and research to generate the highest return on their original balance. Then Plouffe 8th grader and soon-to-be BHS 9th grader, Alexander Perez Pena, was the co-champion alongside a peer from Louisiana, while 5 other Brockton students took spots in the top 10 among competitors from across America. Not to be outdone, 2 Brockton parents also took home the top 2 spots in the parents and adults competition. The photos here are from the group's visit to the Bentley University Trading Room earlier in the school year. And we have an exciting update from some of our math leadership team educators who took part in Carnegie Learning's National Institute this summer. Dr. Owen, I'm so happy you're here today to hear this. Dr. Owen from East was one of the educators representing BPS at the conference, and she had a few glowing things to share. Her quotes are, "I left Arizona with far more than new instructional strategies. I came home with renewed purpose, a full heart, and a reminder that the great lessons we teach often have very little to do with mathematics." Thank you to Brockton Public Schools, our math leadership team, and Carnegie Learning for investing in educators and creating an experience that will undoubtedly impact students for years to come. I think Dr. Owen's experience is a great illustration that while summer does offer our educators some much-deserved time to rest, many of them are also dedicating this time to bettering themselves, which will in turn help make our schools stronger and, most importantly, support their students' learning. We are also excited to announce that looking ahead to the coming school year, BPS has begun transitioning to a new family communication platform, Parent Square. This new platform is purpose-built to make families feel more connected with their children's schools and classrooms in a much more meaningful and effortless way. Our hope is that Parent Square will fundamentally change how our schools and families engage with one another. For the first time, BPS is able to offer families access to more than recurring school newsletters and district-wide alerts, but also classroom updates and individualized connections between educators and families that are related to individual students. Parent Square is live now for families and staff and will be the platform the district and individual schools use going forward for direct outreach to families, as well as for alerts to families and staff. Parents should have received an invite earlier today to register. In fact, I think we've already had 1,200 registrants as of today. The app is available, but it is not required. And all of the info that they will need that is also here is also at bpsma.org/Parent Square. And it's also on our website as well, as the pop-up, sorry. So I know one of the conversations that we have been kind of talking around for a while is about our issues with elementary school space. And this is not for us to make any decisions tonight, but I did want to start to present some of the options that we should be exploring. So this is just an initial exploration, and then we are happy to provide further data to get any questions that you might have, or to also explore any additional options. I know I sent this to the school committee members a few weeks ago just to preview, and I already received a few other suggestions that we've been exploring. So again, at this point in time, we are really open to any and all options. But the issue is that we have overcrowded elementary schools, and we are trying to figure out how to solve for that. So some of the different options that have been brought up are at the Plouffe, Ashfield, and Davis, just to start. And again, I don't want anybody to panic at this point. This is, again, just an exploration, and this is the start of a conversation. So to start, the Plouffe Middle School is one that I know has been mentioned, and even has been mentioned amongst this group, because it used to be an elementary school. It's also located centrally in the city, and it does offer quite a few seats. So it would actually make available about 900 seats. The Ashfield Middle School was also originally an elementary school. It is further from the city center, and it is not as large, so it would offer 400 to 450 seats. So that is if we were to turn these middle schools into elementary schools. A Davis K-8 conversion. It originally was also an elementary before being made into a K-8. It is also further from the city center. However, since if we were to take it to a K-5, we'd be removing 3 grades, so that really only offers 300 seats. So we would be able to support more students coming into an elementary version of the Davis, but it wouldn't provide as many seats as we would need. Some other options that we have also explored is converting all of our middle schools to 5 to 8s. Now, we have started to look at the numbers for that, and what would, let's say if we were to do this a year from now, what might that look like? And while some of the numbers might work out, so for example, if we have 1,100 fourth graders now that are going to be sixth graders a year from now, it would be tight, but we would be able to fit them into the middle schools with a couple of assumptions. If we were keeping the Davis K-8 a K-8 and just dispersing them amongst the other middle schools, given the capacity of those schools, it would be very, very tight, but we'd be able to fit in all the bodies. The issue is we wouldn't be able to fit in all the classrooms, because the bodies isn't taking into account the fact that we have separate classrooms that would need to be in those buildings as well. And so again, I'm happy to provide further analysis for any or all of these options, but I just wanted you to think, to hear some of our initial thinking. Another option that we had started to explore was converting the George to a K-8. We know that we do have those dual language programs going into some of our other middle schools, so potentially putting them all and making our second K-8. Unfortunately, if we were to keep it as a dual language program, that also would not offer enough seats because the classes do get smaller as the years go on, because it's harder to backfill those classes. If we could also consider not making it a full dual language, but doing some other kind of language programming at 6 through 8. But that is another option we could consider. Again, doesn't open as many seats because then we're taking what is a K-5 and adding grades. And then I know the one that has been very popular is renovating the Howard School, but obviously that takes capital. So those are some of the options that we have talked about. And again, for anybody here today or anybody listening at home, again, there's no bad exploration of these options. So please feel free to reach out to us. We really do want to consider everything, and we do want to start having these conversations in the community. So part of the reason for bringing this up now before the start of the school year is because we really do want this to be an open dialogue with the community and hear from the community. Some of the things that I haven't mentioned already, but that are also additional complicating factors or things that we need to think about are licensure, our staffing, because obviously we would have to move staff in any of these scenarios. So what might be the least disruptive to students might be very difficult. For example, moving 5th to all of our middle schools may be very difficult from a developmental standpoint, from a staffing standpoint, because we would be taking staff who are licensed in different areas into a 6 through 8. So again, I'm just giving you the very large headlines, but there are a lot of different aspects to consider when we're thinking about this. That being said, if this is something that we wanted to consider for school year 27-28, we do need to think about what that timeline looks like and backwards plan it. In order for us to plan for next school year, and that would be impact bargaining with the union, that would be informing parents, that would be figuring out transportation, that would be redoing the budget. So there are a lot of different things that have to happen for us to be actually prepared for the start of the school year, and that would have to start like in November, which is when we start to prepare the budget for next school year. So that really does not give us a lot of time. So we really would need to then be making the decision around October or early November. If we are not making that decision that early, then we would have to be thinking of other mitigating ways to address the issue, which is what we've been doing for the last many years, where we move a classroom here or we start a pre-K here, and it's been kind of a piecemeal process all these years. And so what we would like to do is have a cohesive plan to move forward, but I know that this would be an aggressive timeline for us to do so. But again, I just wanted to get the conversation started. So these are just some of the transition activities that I brought up that we would need to think about. And so again, that's why we would want to make sure that even though we're just exploring at this point, if this is something we're serious about for school year 27-28, then we would be coming with data on the options in September. We should be discussing it at every single meeting, and then we should be thinking about what a decision would look like. And then finally, as we plan for next year, we did have a request to continue the pilot at North Middle School for their uniforms for next year. So this was the first year of their pilot. I know we talked about this at our last school committee meeting, and there were some questions amongst many of you. I believe we did approve the pilot for another year. However, I think several of you wanted to hear from our principal, Ms. Ramsey, on how it's been going, what the data looks like, so that we could think about if this is something we not only want to continue, but if this is something we should think about for other schools. I will say, too, that we have had some principals who've actually reached out and who are interested in exploring this as well. So I'm certainly happy to do that, too. So at this time, I'd like to invite up Ms. Ramsey.
Good evening. How is everyone? I gave you all a packet with some information that you had asked about in the previous meeting. Also, at the back of the packet, I included slides from a presentation that I did for the Shannon Grant during the fall last year. So you can see the timeline of the North Middle School student uniforms. It has been a 5-year project. So I included it at the end of your packet so you can see how all this originally began. So last year I came before you to ask for a pilot uniform program at North, which you gave me. Thank you very much. And remember, this is all based on parents, stakeholders, and student feedback. That's how this whole project started, from our school improvement plan and our school improvement council. In 2022, the families asked, the incoming grade 6 families asked, where are the student uniforms? So I said, is that something that you're interested in? They were very vocal that they were interested in exploring those options. So we surveyed incoming families, we surveyed current families, and everybody was, 85% at that time was interested in starting student uniforms. So then moving forward, we asked the students, well, what do you think? So originally we had purple and gray shirts only. I brought them to show you. Here's the purple one. Here's the gray one. And the student said, well, Ms. Ramsey, we want a black one. We want black. And I said, I contacted Played Again Sports. I said, can you make us a black one? They said, yes, here it is. So the addition to the black shirt is directly based on student voice. So you can see how invested the students are in this endeavor. When I was surveying the incoming families to provide data for you, at the spring family conferences, I surveyed all the incoming grade 7 and 8 families, and 90% were, in support of student uniforms. I gave you a packet, and in the packet there's a photo, and all the incoming grade 6 students from our Gateway program came to visit North so they would be familiar, and it was a great transition. They were able to pick out their uniform shirt of choice. Also, I know that you are interested in family feedback and student feedback. I included in your packet an email that I received from a parent regarding student uniforms and what her family's opinions were. She said that it helps take away unnecessary pressure of trendy clothes. She said it helps improve school safety because you know right off the bat who's supposed to be there. She says it makes her mornings easier because her child knows what he has to wear. Then when she gave me this information, I said, okay, can you please ask your son what he thinks? Because he would wear his uniform every day, and I didn't know if it was because his family wanted him to or if he did. So she wrote that her son said he was completely on board. He said the uniforms would stop kids from judging each other over clothes. He believes that the uniforms help build school pride because we're all representing the same school. So that was some feedback. Also in your packet, I included some information from the Raymond School and also the George School. Those are the students that funnel into our school, and they're very familiar with student uniforms. The company that we used last year is the same company that provides the uniforms for the Raymond, the George, and the Gilmore. So I wanted to share with you, if this was something for North, we would have a similar page like this with a QR code and families could order. Just like last year, if this pilot program continues to next year, or even if you decide that it's something you want to do mandatory moving forward in the years to follow, I can talk about how we introduced it to families all throughout August. We had many family nights. We had a student uniform fashion show where the students came to see the uniforms. They were able to order them right from the school. And also, we have fundraised enough money so that every single North student can receive one uniform shirt of their choice from me, the school, right? I say, here's your gift for coming to North, but they get to pick their own uniform shirt, and it's from money that we've fundraised. Also, the students who are McKinney-Vento or homeless, there's a specific budget for those students to make sure that everybody has the uniform shirt, so it's equitable all across the board. Do you have any specific questions for me? Yes.
Not so much a question, but I just have to say I love everything about this. I remember when you came in front of us last time to ask to implement the pilot program. One of the things that I love is the choice. It wasn't mandatory. It's if you want, you can. If you don't, that's okay. And also the involvement of both students and parents, because I think that's important. Sometimes parents want something, but the kids are like, no.
Thank you. Right.
But having both of them be on the same page is crucial.
Right.
And I was going to ask, and you already answered that, the ability of us providing those to the students that are coming in, you know, considering financial hardships and whatnot. So me personally, I love everything about this. If we can implement it to all the schools, that would be great. The mandatory sounds a bit harsh, but if we pilot, and people are really getting on board, maybe eventually it'll just become a thing. We don't have to think of it as mandatory or
Right.
not. So, again, appreciate the work, appreciate the implementation. I feel like it's been a smooth process, and I'm glad to hear that there's positive feedback about it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gomes. Mr. Pina.
Thank you, Ms. Ramsey. I heard you saying there that you're volunteering to be part of the change leadership and the change management to ensure that we make this a mandatory thing across all the school district. That's great. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure.
I will say that I have and I usually don't talk about my kids, but I have a 10-year-old over at the George that is with the mayor's grandson. And my daughter comes home in her uniform, and I have to fight with her to get out of it. It is something that has become just a part of her day. It makes her mornings much easier. And I would just like to commend you in pushing this and doing what you've done. I am a big supporter of school uniforms for all the reasons that you said. I do believe that this is something that should be made mandatory across, because I do have a high school daughter, and I wish that she wore a uniform every day.
Thank you, Mr. Pina. Ms. Azak.
Thank you. Thank you, Principal Ramsey. So, given it's North Middle School, I support the uniforms. People pay a lot of money to go to private schools for their kids to wear the uniforms. And it just, so did you have such a good response because you're having students coming from, the majority of the students, I'm assuming, are coming from Raymond,
75%, yeah.
which has a uniform already. So is it the percentage of the, have you had any pushback? And I'm sure it's a small number if you have.
It's very, very small. Currently, because it's voluntary, that's not even really an issue right now. I actually answered 4 phone calls today in the office asking when our student uniform night will be so that they can purchase their uniforms. I said, hold on, just wait till after tonight and I'll have more information for you. So it was very timely that we had 4 phone calls today asking. Also, one thing to think about too is I've had many conversations with families, and families who come from other countries, such as Haiti and Cape Verde, they're used to wearing uniforms in their native country. So when they come to the United States, they're like, what, there's no uniforms? So pulling that in as well, it's been very helpful.
No, definitely. And like my colleague said, sometimes it just makes it easier for the students. They're all wearing similar uniforms, so there's no competition with designer clothes, and it takes some of the pressure off of the families because your child doesn't feel left out if they don't have, like, you know, the latest trend. Plus, the uniforms, just something about it. When all our students are in a uniform, is just it helps with the image, and I think it's great. So.
Right. When we
job.
talk about college and career for our kiddos, we say, so some careers, you wear a uniform. When you come to school, your job is to learn. When you're here, you're wearing your uniform because your job at this time is to learn.
Thank you.
You done? Go. Anybody else? Well, thank you, Allison. Thank you, and keep
Of
up the
course.
work. I love uniforms as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, yeah, I was going to say,
Just need a vote.
do we need a
because I
vote?
think she was just,
no?
unless somebody makes it into a form of a
okay.
motion.
Just keep piloting it?
Pilot for next year.
I'm sorry. I'm confused. So the pilot is going on for next year?
But don't we have to take?
We have to vote.
So currently, the paperwork that I have says that it was for last school year. So I'm here before you asking if I can have the pilot program for next school year.
All right, why don't you?
Can I ask a question on that?
Go ahead.
So do we need to continue to make it a pilot, or can we move it out of the pilot phase? I think the data that you provided and the information you provided was enough for me to.
I think it would be the will of the committee.
I mean, I just see that this goes in line with what we're doing at the Raymond and at the George School. And if you already have the support of your families and your students, I don't see any other reason why we would wait. I make a motion to make this a permanent, well, do we have to make it mandatory, or is this? How's the George and the Raymond worded, somebody?
I don't think it's mandatory as it stands now.
It is at the George. I mean, you have to wear.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think you got to make it mandatory, because if you don't, then you're actually allowing people to do whatever the hell they want to do. So make a motion that we make it mandatory going forward.
Yeah, I make a motion to make school uniforms in the North Middle School as the first middle school to have the uniforms permanent and mandatory.
A second?
Second.
A motion has been properly made in second. I also failed to say that Ms. Centello and Mr. Sullivan are on the phone. Hopefully they can hear us as we move forward with the agenda.
On the motion.
On the motion.
I mentioned this earlier about the mandatory. I'm all for the uniform. Do you anticipate any issues or concerns now that we're making it mandatory?
I don't know. We can discuss that with individual families and look at their concerns and work with the families to try to make it all work for everyone.
Okay.
All right, so a motion has been properly made in second. Mr. Pina.
Yes.
Ms. Hazak.
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Ms. Oliver.
Yes.
Mr. Gomes.
Yes.
Ms. Centello.
Yes.
Is that Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
All right, so 7 in the affirmative.
Sandra's not.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank
and,
you.
have a
Thank
great
you. That's very exciting.
Great uniform year.
Thank you.
All right. Madam Superintendent, I think you're next with the financial report.
Yes.
Chair? Can we? Yep, I had a question regarding the superintendent's presentation on the schools. So if you know, last time Ashfield School came up, and I just, please, if they can just keep in mind, that's the only middle school we have in Ward 6. It is a very popular middle school. It's a neighborhood school. It is always at max capacity. And then when assignments come in, you know, I have families reaching out to me that, you know, it just, that is one of the preferred middle schools. And I would really push that we look at other alternative buildings? And then my other question would be is, Superintendent, how does that affect us if we start, one of the, during your presentation, you mentioned fifth grade to the eighth. So we usually lose a lot of our students once they hit sixth grade, because in even high school, but usually middle school, they start to go to outside schools. So is that going to affect us if now we're turning them into a 5 to 8? Are we going to lose our students at fifth grade now and they're going to go to other districts? I mean, that can hurt us financially if we start losing the fifth graders a year early, where in fifth grade we should be, you know, promoting our middle schools and bringing them to our schools and getting them familiar rather than losing them. And I also, I mean, I'd have to talk to our educators, but putting a fifth grader with an eighth grader, there's just, I had an issue with sixth grade and eighth grade. They're just, now we're bringing in younger students with the older kids. So I really would love to hear some of the feedback from our middle school staff, if we could somehow just survey them, even our, you know, principals and stuff, because they're in the field, they're with our students. And I just, those are my two concerns, is the fifth with the eighth and losing them. And please don't touch Ashfield. Leave Ashfield. It came up on the chopping block years ago, and it just was not, it was not easy. So Ashfield is one of our, you know, unless you go back to the 4 Compass schools as far as middle school, but I mean, it's at max. So that's the only thing. And where you're talking about, we got to start talking about it. We're in August. We're going to start in September with the holidays and everything before you know it. So I don't want to rush through it. I'd prefer if we really just focused on it little by little before then. But thank you.
All right, Ms. Oliver, and then Mr. Pino.
Just to piggyback off Ms. Azak, I will be totally against the 5 to 8, just due to maturity level and the age and the higher risk for bullying. We're asking an 8 and 9-year-old who is not at the maturity level, they're already struggling in elementary, not to put them in a school with a 13 and a 14-year-old. I think the risk of bullying will increase. It's just not going to be, I will be totally against it, just because of the maturity level and the way of them just dealing with mature students. And a 14-year-old we're just basically risking more violence towards them, bullying, and I don't think it's going to be a productive thing to keep 5th and 8th graders. I also have an issue with 6th and 8th graders because of the age and maturity level. I just don't want to risk our younger kids into more risk of bullying at this point.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Pino.
So I grew up right next to Ashfield School, and I walked to East. So there's a middle school that's close to Ashfield School. And I'm also concerned, I would much prefer we went back to the Compass schools and we had the 7th and 8th grade, because I think that we lose, and you'll see it when you go into the schools, as I have a soon-to-be 5th grader, there's a leadership quality that they gain when they're going through their now 5th grade instead of 6th grade, because now you have the 5th graders going back and helping the kindergartners or the 1st graders. And I think that if we continue to push that back, those are opportunities where those kids aren't going to be able to learn how to lead and volunteer and do the things that they do. I would be very interested, as I've requested on multiple occasions from facilities, to see what the capacity model is of the schools, where each school is at. And then I know you put up the number of 900, but you know, we have 300 at South and we have 700 at West. So I don't see how what we're doing right now, I don't think in the Army we call it work smarter, not harder. I think that we're working less smart by not having a capacity model to see what each school can have, how many kids it can hold. When you talk about all of the other programs that go along with these, I think we need to look at those as well and say, what is the space need for those programs? But I think just putting out there's 900 here and 300 or 400 there, I think it's more than that, and I agree that these conversations need to start. I would request that each of the middle school principals come before us and tell us what their insights are, because again, they, like Member Oliver had said, that they're boots on the ground and they know what's going on. I'd also like to hear from some of the elementary school principals to see if having it go back to maybe a first grade through sixth grade and what that impact would be, and how we can move that around. I yield back.
Ms. Oliver?
Just quick question, the Parent Square, that's not replacing campus, right? It's just an additional informational board or app for parents?
It's replacing School Messenger, so no, Infinite Campus will still be.
Yeah, I got the email today, I was wondering what that was, okay.
Yeah.
Just, I'll sign.
Mr. Vina?
Wait, it's not replacing Infinite Campus?
So Infinite Campus is where it's all of our, right. So no, this is just our communication platform. So instead of School Messenger, we have moved over to Parent Square,
Is it a one-way or two-way communication?
two-way. But all of those will still be linked in kind of on the back end the way they are with School Messenger. But this one, hopefully, rather than having different apps and platforms that are being used, we're hoping that this, because it offers a lot of the great functionality that we know that teachers want in individual classrooms, and that's why they may use a different platform, we're hoping that this one provides all of those functionalities.
And this is just for parents, or is this also what we're going to use for the kids' communication, the students' communication within the?
Anything that would have been on School Messenger, yes. So this would be the alerts, this will be, yeah, any of those communications.
Does this functionality include the same that BVA has, where the teacher has the ability to see who's messing around and who's like talking?
No,
All that?
no, like the spyware or whatever.
And we should have that on every school,
Yes,
every
no, that's
computer.
different,
Yes.
but yeah, that's not through this.
That's not this?
No,
Okay.
that is not this.
Go ahead, Ms. Azak.
Superintendent, actually, Jordan Maybloom, I had asked him, they usually send out a message, and he actually said to me that they're using this, and it's a little more accurate, easier to get to the families. Can we have someone just show us a presentation, and maybe for the families, and just how to use this new app?
Absolutely. So we're going to be having, so we had already previewed it with the principals before the end of last school year. And there was a group that was together that looked through several different communication platforms and helped us choose it. So there were multiple stakeholders there for that. And then we will be providing training. So it is going to be a rollout. We'll be providing training at our Leadership Institute. We'll be providing training for all of our teachers. So it's not just the families that are going to have to get used to it. Everybody's going to have to get used to it. So yes, we are planning sort of a rollout.
Definitely, I'd love to see how that works. If maybe at the workshop, someone can just show us, just to see what our families are going through. And I'm sure there's areas that need tweaking, but especially if it's a new program that we're going to start using with our families and the staff, so it's everybody, which would be great. Thank you.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Thank you, sir. I know we're jumping back from schools to apps. I'm going to stay on the apps. With this new implementation of this app, what is the security level as far as collecting any data with this app?
Yeah, we will be able, so what do you mean, secure, I'm sorry.
So-
Can you say, what is your, can you
So
repeat
we
your
have
question?
an app, and is this app collecting any data? A lot of the apps are collecting data, and some I know
Gotcha.
we're not doing. I'm just
So
wondering-
no, we have a process that we have to go through to make sure that we have the data privacy agreements and all of that. So I can get you more information on that, but no.
Okay, cool. On the other thing is when we were talking about the just looking at how we're gonna make a shift into to schools, but just a reminder, and I know the mayor last legislative, actually almost 2 years now, we actually took some tours when you were council president because of this situation with the increase in enrollment in certain schools. But we did vote, the committee did vote to request the Howard School to return back. But at the same notion, it's what is the cost to repair that school? my opinion, if we want to have less disruption, it's opening up the Howard, but it comes with a cost. So what does that cost look like to get that building up and running, and what is the total enrollment for that school itself? I'm not sure. I'm trying to remember what year it was closed out. Were you on the committee at the time?
Before 2016.
It was before, so
Maybe 2014, 12?
just my assessment, I'm not an engineer, but that school was in much better shape internally than the Huntington was, and we did a great job in the Huntington. It's not perfect, but it was a remedy to open that to what it is now. So, I mean, I know we're going to have a tough decision to make. It's not going to be a popular one. People are not going to, not everybody is going to, be happy with that. So the other thing too is, when we're looking at doing this, like what is going to be the transportation impact, transporting these students? Is there going to be a less impact? Is it going to increase our non-net? Do we need extra busing? Have we got to that point yet, or is this the initial talk of?
I mean, any plan is going to impact transportation, but I mean, we'll be transporting the same number of students to a different place.
I mean, yeah, very true, but I'm looking at it if, let's say on the Bluff, people are coming from all points of the city to get this, so now we disperse them, and let's say we make that into an elementary. I mean, depending upon where the students live, it could have the potential of increasing transportation.
Yeah, we can certainly, I mean, yes, I mean, yeah.
Cool, so we'll leave that. The other thing is with the new high school, with the discussion, and obviously it's going to go to the voters, and being on the building committee, that training room was very, beautiful that, they're supporting that. So I think I'll bring that up. If we can take a note of that, having our own training room set up that way at the high school here. Also, with the mock trial program, the Discovering Justice, certain schools are looking at that if we can implement, a courtroom. It's just like, the health department with the nursing program. We all visited Attleboro High School. Very jealous. For those that are going to go, you're going to be very jealous. It felt like, that's a CTE program, comprehensive high school, but you thought you were in an emergency room when you were in that school, just the amenities that it has. So I would like to, include that into the discussion of renovating the high school. So, you.
Any other questions for the superintendent regarding her presentation, Ms. Azak?
Not so much a question. Can we schedule a tour of the Howard School? Because I just looked up, and I believe it goes back to 2011, maybe earlier, when it was closed. And I'll just be honest, Superintendent, this is way before you came on. Last time that came before us, it just, it needs to be torn down. It's awful, all the stuff. But then I heard it was really nice. So I would like to tour it with the rest of the committee. One of the main concerns I have is the location of it, given the age of the students that we might put there. But maybe we can move some of the, someone else in a different location. But if we can schedule a tour sometime, maybe end of September, early October, tour the Howard, and just to see if it is something you want to bring back online, because I do remember back in probably a few years ago, we did talk about trying, is it the Shaw School over near the old, no, that's a tear down, but we talked about putting a prefab building, a 2-floor building for our younger students. And we talked about that when Superintendent Thomas was with us. And that, I know that was we were talking about different things, and I believe they brought a plan before us and a design and things like that. So if it's going to cost us millions to bring the Howard back on, and I thought we were going to get, one of the members had requested if we can just get an idea of what's it going to cost to bring it back on, compared to what will it cost if we do a prefab building, if it's going to be millions. Those are going to be more energy efficient. It's going to be brand new, especially for our younger students. So I'd like to see what the cost would be and compare them. It was a while ago. I think we had mentioned last time we talked about it, if we could see
So,
what it
yeah.
would cost to bring Howard back on. Because sometimes
So we
bringing
have
the
an
older buildings
old-
back on are
Right.
expensive.
I'll chime in as well. So I had
Mr. Gomes.
Thank you. Oh, my fault. I had two things that I was debating sharing. So similar to Mr. Rodriguez, I'm leaning more towards the Howard solution. I brought it up with the superintendent, the mayor, a couple times. And the other concern I had was busing, rerouting with whatever changes we make. As far as the Howard school, we did have an estimate. Obviously would have to be updated of the work that needed to be done and what it would take to bring it up to compliance at least. It was in the millions. So I can only imagine now how much more it's gonna cost with inflation and price of materials and labor and whatnot. But that's one option. But we do have, I think it's maybe 3 years old or 4 years, I could be wrong. But there was an estimate for what it would take to bring Howard. I think the estimate came up right about the time when the committee made that request to get the building back so we could fix it. So I'm assuming by now the cost is much higher than that. But that's one option that we could look at, and just know that it's gonna cost to bring it back up to compliance.
So on that, Vice Chair Gomes, and I know there's a plan that's out there for the prefab building for the younger students over on, in Ward 5. So I know that someone was working on it a while ago. If we can just compare them, because I believe they were going to tear down the Shaw building anyways, and there's so much land over there that I remember the administrative team at the time, I think they call them the executive team or something with the superintendent back then, had looked into the prefab compared to, I don't know if the Howard was even on the table to rehab the Howard, but I guess we could always go back and take a look. But I'm always told there's so much land over there, and it's not on a main road, and that's the only thing. It's just the traffic already is bad on Montello Street. I just can't imagine putting a school back there. There's a lot of traffic,
So, so I don't know that this was sent to everybody, but it was, we did look at going back to the facility study that I believe was done by Dorr and Whittier, and they actually gave us 3 different scenarios for if we wanted them to either update the assessment that they did. So there were 3 options: a simple pricing update, so that they would just do an estimate increase of what they had done in 2013, and that would cost like $3,000, or we could do the previous study review and report. So that would cost $19,000 or so, about $20,000. So that would include site visits, destructive testing or observations, attending meetings, and then option 3, which is a whole new school facility assessment, would be $37,000. So I believe we had talked about this. I had sent these documents last year. I'm happy to send them to the full committee for consideration.
I think with facilities coming up soon, maybe that's not a
We
bad
have
idea.
facilities, yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's not a bad idea if we can take a look at that. Thank you.
All set.
Mr. Rodriguez.
I think, just my opinion, knowing a project that was recently just done was a combination of school side, city side, that I think this Howard School project, if we put it together, that it can happen. And that's just working together, school side, city side, with our folks, our craftsmen, same exact model that we did over at the Huntington, which was a lot less than what we were it was upwards of 30 to 40 million. But bringing in our internal folks to do what they can, will save the city millions of dollars, but at the same time, there's going to be some type of cost, and where is that money coming from? But I think that option is more, I mean, we talk about traffic. I totally understand like high traffic areas, but all of our schools are in a traffic area. We just have to be cognizant of that, working with traffic commission, police, you know, if there's need to be some lighting or anything to that notion. But I think the Howard School would be my position on moving forward and disrupting what we already have that's working or not working besides the student enrollment.
Well, if I can make one recommendation, perhaps when you guys do meet for facilities, bring in, Mr. Thompson and perhaps Bill Forte from the city building department and kind of come together and come up with a game plan, how we can go forward with this stuff. Right.
Oh, my apologies. We actually did do the first one already. That was the letter that was sent, and they actually recommended that, they said the cost escalation would be about double the number from 2013, and that they would actually recommend we do, if we were really considering bringing it online, that we do a whole new comprehensive facility assessment. So like the 40,000 version to see exactly what it would cost.
Go ahead, Ms. Azak.
Superintendent, and I apologize if I missed this during your presentation, what is the capacity at Howard?
So that, were we ever able to get that? We were never able to get
Just
that.
a
And I mean,
ballpark idea, like 300, 400?
Size of Ashfield?
Is it the size? It looks smaller than Ashfield, because we have the,
300,
Is it?
400?
okay.
I'm sure it would depend too on what we did, right? There are ways
Yeah.
we could expand it, but
Yeah, 300,
Okay,
400.
just curious if we can get an idea, just,
we tried, I think, to get sort of an idea, but the other thing is that there are now new codes for new buildings, new space requirements, so I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I mean, because it has been offline.
And again,
long
I
time.
mean, we're happy to do all of these things. I think we're just trying to figure out how far to go down any one road in these analyses, like what are the actual options that we should be considering. So I think that's where we need direction from the committee.
Go ahead, Mr. Pino.
So wouldn't the Pluff be the probably cheapest and most efficient, since it's the largest and it's really set up to be an elementary school?
Probably, yes. At first glance, yes. I would think so.
But when you say elementary, you're talking about K to 8 or just elementary?
No, elementary.
K to 5
Yeah. Or 6, that'd be
or
cool.
6? Okay. All right, anyone else? Go ahead, Madam Superintendent. Continue.
Oh, any other questions?
I think we're done with questions on that. We've killed it.
Okay. All right. So item B is the finance update. So we have been working with the city again to try and nail down what our pension obligation bond costs are going to be, so that we know exactly what to expect. So that is the graph that is in front of you. Oh, thank you. That shows what our yearly increase. So this is the one that we were able to, I know last time we came before you, we were still trying to confirm the numbers with the CFO, the city CFO. So now we have confirmed them. So this is for, you see the initial impact, which was in FY27. So year over year, what we're looking at is 1.2 million impact for FY28, 1.47, or basically 1.5 for FY29, 1.7 for FY30, FY31, 2 million, and FY32, 2.3 million. Now, I think it's important to note that this is the yearly increase for the POBs and contributory retirement using the 37.6%. That was the percentage that was used this year. However, I know that it has been discussed recently at the accounts meeting, and we even discussed today that that is not a methodology or a consensus that we've actually come to. That was simply what was done last year, and that the city believes it could be closer to 50-50, in which case obviously these numbers would be higher. So this is probably the very conservative estimate, but I just wanted you all to see this so that you know what we're looking at as far as budget cuts for the next few years, so that it's not at the 11th hour like it was before.
Go ahead, Mr. Bean.
So this is in addition to, so are we talking the 12 million plus 1 point or 2.2?
Correct. This is
So that
in
for next
addition
year,
to.
it would be, what's the,
These are just the increases, not the entire Schedule 19, not the whole pension
no,
obligation.
but
Yeah.
I'm just concerned about the, as you call it, POB. So right now, it's at 10 million or 12 million? What is the cost right now that we're spending?
It was,
14, some change.
it was 14.
14 million?
Roughly 14, yeah.
That's right. So on top of 14, next year, is it going to be the 2.2 or the 1?
The 1.2. But that's if it's 37
1.08?
points. Oh, the 1.265.
Oh, so this, oh, okay, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry.
So yes, these are the total increases per year.
And have we, where do we stand with the taking on an actuary? Because I know that the
Yes.
city council talked about that as well, and
It's on the agenda.
It's on the agenda, and it's in the packet. It was sent to the city, so to the procurement officer and the city CFO as well for feedback. It's on the agenda tonight for feedback as well, so that we can, yes, double check these numbers or just make sure we're in agreement. And so just as a reminder to the public, and this is later on in the agenda, the request was to get an independent actuarial firm to review our pension obligation bonds and the methodology for allocating the costs to the school department.
so as such as the federal government did in doing away with a internal retirement system, have we looked at, because these costs are going to continue to balloon up, and that's exactly what the federal government did and why they went back. They sent their workers into the Social Security and a TSP. Have we looked at possibly broaching that topic and looking at getting rid of the retirement system? And obviously, I know this is for the non-teachers, but that retirement system and how it is now, because I don't see a way through this without making giant cuts in the next few years. And I know that that's obviously a sore subject. I'm sure just by me saying that, I'll get a lot of hate mail. But to be fiscally responsible, I don't see how we can continue to drive towards a cliff and just be smiling and okay, knowing that we're going to fall off that cliff. So has there been any discussion on the possibility of doing the same thing that the federal government did?
That I know of, no discussions, because I think one of the things that we need to do is take into account the fact that we've decided that we were going to do this until 2032. And then after that, everything's on the table. Because we've already made a commitment to spend the pensions the way we did the pension until 2032.
Correct.
So that, once that, as we get close to that cliff, I think we have to seriously have a discussion about this.
And I would just point out that the way the federal government did it was obviously everyone that came in past a certain date was on a new retirement system. I think that is, I know that's the city side issue, but when we should be at the table because obviously we're paying it as well. I think that this is something that we need to look at and say, in 10 years from now, and I get we keep kicking the can down the road in taking out the debt, repaying the debt, taking out the debt because it's supposed to pay it, whatever. I get that. I just am concerned that there's going to become a year where we're not going to be able to do that, and then we're stuck.
Well, I think that's a discussion that we can have, not necessarily at this setting, but this is a discussion I think we have to have across the board and dealing with everybody, because one of the enticements sometimes that people have to apply for a municipal job is the fact that they they might not be getting paid upfront what they could get paid in the private world, but they can actually benefit from the pensions that come along with that as part of their benefit package. So if we're going to take that away, are we going to look into possibly hurting our ability to compete in the real world in terms of hiring talent, hiring people to become not necessarily teachers because they're in a different program, but everybody else that's part of that process, part of that retirement process? Are we going to have a tough time attracting people to do that? And that's why I think it requires a longer conversation, not necessarily in a setting like this. Go ahead.
But yes, to that point, that is why I wanted to make sure that everyone here was aware, because the way I see it, this does mean cuts moving into next year. And we are going to start talking about the budget early. And so I just wanted to make sure that we were all aware of that.
Hey, Sandra, did you want to say something?
No, we're good.
Okay. Go ahead, Ms. Oliver.
No question.
So have we agreed on which method we're going to use, or still up for discussion?
Correct.
What's the delay, and why is it still such a
Well, I think the hope is that the actuarial,
Help us out.
the actuary will be able to help us.
And just to piggyback off Mr. Pena, I think it's something that we need to have those hard conversations before we reach the cliff. We need to be more proactive than reactive, because at the end of the day, those money are coming out of us being able to educate our students. So the more it keeps increasing, the more money we're taking away from our students. So I think that's a conversation. I know that's very hard to swallow, but we need to figure this out sooner than later about how we're gonna interact between the city and the school district, and definitely agree upon a way that, yes, we have to pay our responsibilities, right? But the same way, it's not costing us being able to educate our students, because every year it looks like we're not going to have enough funds to be able to do that. And we're talking about increase in elementary and new schools, and that also, we need money for that. Money just doesn't come from a tree, so we need to figure out how we can figure this in a very timely manner.
We're on the same page, ma'am. Go ahead, Superintendent.
All right, so, but also we are continuing to try to improve our own internal processes and efficiencies. One of the items that was brought up last time was our Verizon Cellular warrants, and so I did want to provide some more information on that, because we did look deeper into that. And so we did go through and make sure to deactivate any MiFis or accounts that were no longer being used, but we're also now in the process of actually going through all of the ones that exist and determining which ones no longer need to be in use. So I don't know if everybody's watching at home, but there are going to be some folks who will be getting phones back from. So we're determining who is absolutely essential to have a phone and who's not. So right now we have about 50 or so lines, and so we were able to go through, and with the methodology that we put in place about whether it needs to be somebody who requires urgent district business and regularly works away from the district work site, has approved after hours on-call or time-sensitive responsibilities. So there were a couple of different things that we used to put in a methodology to go through and determine which ones we will be taking back, and we're able to identify about 50 that we will be taking back. And also generally with the MiFis, not the MiFis here, but generally with the MiFis too, because we've been looking at usage, we'll probably be deactivating most of those as well, except for some of the really important ones, like for our IT techs and things like that. So we are going through that process, and I'll give you more information on it, but I do again want you to know that we appreciate you looking at the warrants, bringing up this information, and with each thing that gets brought up, we're able to dig more deeply into our costs and how we're spending them, or how we're spending our funds. Another thing that we are continuing to work on is we are doing an IFB for classroom and office supplies. And again, this came out of the identification of all of the Amazon purchases. So what we have done is we have looked at all of the Amazon purchases, looked at all of the different major items that are being purchased. We have now put out, a sort of a request to all of our schools and departments to let us know what it is that they need, and then we're going to go out and get it all in bulk and then have it delivered probably with a big bulk purchase before the start of the school year and then 4 more times during the school year. So also is another thing that I just want to let folks know is I know that there are some specialized things that used to be able to be purchased on Amazon that we are going to have to deny, but that we will definitely revisit things. For now, the first round of purchases is going to be for those things that we are basic around the school district. So for example, rather than buying dry erase markers on Amazon, we are now putting in a purchase for dry erase markers. However, we did choose the one that was most often chosen by our staff, which dry erase marker, but for example, there are certain other things like a certain card stock or a certain, specialized item that we are not going to be able to put through the process to start. So I think this is also a good process for us to kind of go through too, to make sure that we have some, control on our purchasing, that we have some, purchasing practices that allow us to buy in bulk and really utilize the economies of scale that we should be utilizing in a district with 24 schools and 15,000 students and 3,000 employees. So I know it's not going to be great news for everybody, especially as we start the new school year, but I did just want to make sure everyone knows that, again, this is our goal, is to try to be more efficient, to make it so that we are not having individual, administrative assistants put in individual orders for dry erase markers in every single department around the district. So we continue to work on that, and then we have several other different RFPs and IFBs that are coming out, so that you will be hearing about. So you will be hearing about the in-district special education transportation one. We are putting together a capital planning RFP as well, because I know we need to come up with a 5-year strategic plan or a 5-year capital plan, and in trying to do that on our own, we realize there are a lot of things that really need somebody come in and do a full facilities assessment to figure out what it is that we need to do and when we need to do it. And I believe that hasn't been done for a while. So you'll be seeing that as well. And so that is all I have for the finance update.
Ms. Azak, do you have a question?
Thank you. If we can just go back to the cell phones and the MiFis. So I remember the MiFis came in during COVID, because a lot of our students didn't have internet, same with some staff. So I'm not sure if I have correct information, but I believe the cell phones have the hotspots on them, so there's no need to have MiFis, correct?
But they're not all activated
Okay.
on the cell phones that people have, yes.
Okay, so that's...
But yes,
Yeah,
it
okay.
can be activated.
All right, because I'm curious to see the MiFis, what we're paying, and if they're not being used.
Well, we're
Just
not
do
going to be
away.
paying. Yep.
And
we're
we
not
have,
gonna-
do we give it right, was it Verizon? I'm not sure which company it was, but we
Verizon,
just
yeah.
give it back to them?
Yes, and so
Or-
we'll be going and collecting those or deactivating them so that we don't have to
Okay.
pay them. I don't know if we actually have to
Physically
pick up
give
the
them?
hardware. I
Okay.
actually don't know.
Curious to see if there's like a fee for like a non-return of,
That's a
you
great
know,
question. I'll
merchandise.
find out.
Yeah. Okay, and then, because I do know that they were calling some of the numbers just to make sure they were active, which ones are active. So that would also fall under maybe our accounts review when we
Yes.
review the accounts and stuff like that. And then same with the now, I'm not sure, maybe our committee members, sorry, I don't know what's funny, but I'm not sure if our schools, so I know a lot of our teachers do like a wish list at the beginning of the year or throughout the year, and families and other people can just go on it and purchase things. Is it possible? Like, could they still go on and create like a ABC elementary school, this is our wish list, and if somebody wants to go on and purchase like Clorox wipes or special card stock, can the public do that? Can the schools create their Amazon wish list and people can just purchase stuff for them?
Yes, I believe
Is
those
that-
are already.
Like a wish
Aren't
list
those
already set up?
something we
Okay.
do already? I know hold on. But yes, I know that is something that happens for are different grades in different schools. Are you asking if there's something that we can put out to the public?
Well, yeah, I mean, or just, look, these are if you want to go onto Amazon, these are the schools' wish lists, those that want to, people love to, you know, you're out shopping or you're online and you want to send a little surprise to the school, like, here you go, here's, you know, some cardstock or labels or something that you're looking for. I just know a lot of times when we see the teachers submit their lists, a lot of people on social media just, you know, will chime in, like, you know, teachers will say, look, this is I want these little items, and people will just go in and either purchase them or bid on it or something. It's usually around this time, I'm not sure what it is, but I always see it online, different schools, so.
Yes, the school supply lists. So they have been slightly modified how they are displayed on our district website. There's now a page that feeds directly from our teacher lists onto our website. So lists is for all schools live at, so yes, it is actually on our website.
Okay.
The supply lists.
Well, like a wish list.
And this link will be included in our back-to-school materials district-wide, but this has also gone out to our principals to encourage their building staff to update their lists in the teacher list, because if they share that link, that'll be shared with families as well.
Okay, no, I meant like a complete separate Amazon wish list. A wish list, like if you go onto Amazon and you go onto someone's wish list, you can see items that they just clicked on, and if you want to purchase it for them, that might not be a bad idea if our schools, you know, someone wants to send something a little extra, rather than have our teachers and staff constantly, you know, purchasing it themselves, but we'll try.
I can look into that.
Doesn't hurt. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Pina, go ahead.
You brought up the list, so obviously, this is my first year on the school committee, so, and I went through the budget process, I saw the budget, got kind of an understanding of it, so obviously, the students' families, they get a list of things that they need to purchase. I know it's not a mandatory list that you have to purchase all that, but can you kind of help me understand if we're asking families, giving them a list of things to buy, but then in our budget, we have budgeted for those items? So how does that reconcile? How does that work?
I mean, I'm not exactly sure. I know that, you know, I'm sorry, I don't know.
I mean, I buy the list every year.
Do you mean we shouldn't be asking parents to buy things
so
and we just buy them?
We get a list sent home, and I buy the list. I don't know what I'm supposed to not buy or what I'm supposed to buy.
Right.
But we just buy whatever's on the list. Obviously, I think when you get into high school, you don't really get the list anymore, so it's mostly for the elementary school. But we just buy the list because you guys send us a list and we just buy it. So, and I'm sure not every family is able to do that, so I'm just curious how we reconcile that in the budget process. Is why are we asking families to purchase these things instead of paying for them?
Well, I think, you know, So I believe we want to make sure that all families are, you know, contributing to the educational process. That's kind of just a thing that everybody does at the start of the school year. We know that our students are going out and they're shopping for new things for the school year, and a lot of families do that as just a matter of tradition. So in doing that, we want to give them a list of, don't just go and buy whatever, here's a list of things to buy. But to your point, we don't require them to. So we want to make sure that not only do we have supplies for students who haven't done all that or haven't come with everything, but also those supplies are really kind of a startup for the start of the school year. They don't subsist for the entire school year, and they also don't, they're not an exhaustive list of all of the classroom supplies that are used in a building.
And parents do pay taxes, so they do have skin in the game.
Oh, yeah, understood. But, you know, they have all these back-to-school events. I mean, that is part of the process of going back to school, is back-to-school shopping, and we know families are going to be doing that, so we rather give some direction. I don't know.
Mr. Rodriguez, Oliver, and then Gomes.
Thank you. I know I stepped out for a little bit. My apologies if I missed any of this. Update on the end of the year report, where we are with that, and what's holding that up. Also, if you can touch base on the non-net request to pay that, and is there a hard date to take care of that? There, obviously a little bit of a deficit because it wasn't properly allocated. It's never been properly allocated since I've been on the committee. And then also, do we have a figure? What does our carry forward look from last fiscal year to this year? Or are we still in the midst of trying to figure out those?
Well, so at
concrete
this
numbers?
point in the year, we're still reconciling and we're still actually paying out expenses from FY26, right? We have the accruals because there's stretch pay throughout the summer. So the end of the year has not really reconciled yet. That is still a process that continues to happen. And so the end of year report generally doesn't get filed until October, November. That's generally the normal timeline of things. I know that here it's been later in the past, but thus far, like we're not overdue for it or anything like that. As for the non-net school spending request that I submitted to the city council, I know we actually discussed it at our meeting today with the mayor, so we do have a meeting to start to discuss some of these things like the pension obligation bonds, what our Schedule 19 is going to look like, things like that. And we did flag for the city that we have had to put forward $1.39 million of net school spending funds to cover non-net school spending expenditures for transportation from FY26, which we knew was going to happen, right? When we're not fully funded, we then have to pull out of our net school spending. That is what then ends up getting reconciled in that end of year report if we don't figure it out before that, right? So we may be fronting the net school spending funds right now, but if they are to come back or to be allocated by the city, then we reconcile that later and we won't be dinged on the end of year report. But that is what's happening right now because yes, we are out of the net school spending funds that were allocated for transportation. I know that the city is waiting to hear if this committee is going to agree to using circuit breaker, and if so, that would obviously bring down the amount of money that we still need for non-net school spending. So the request that I submitted to the city was 4.6. We have 1.9 in circuit breaker, or I always get these mistakes.
1.7.
1.7, thank you. And so that would make it 2.9 that they would have left over. So that would bring down their 4.6 to 2.9. So I actually don't know where we are with that. I'm just telling everybody the numbers. I'm waiting on you guys to figure out circuit breaker. I'm waiting on them to tell me where that money is. I'm just here to wait.
2 weeks.
What's it, 2 weeks?
Well, we'll come up with a game plan in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
There's a
One
timeline.
of the things is, like it's 2026, it's August, and a lot of these discussions have started back in 2024, sitting at the State House with the Secretary NF, DOR, Secretary of Education, many folks, and here we are, we don't have a certain methodology. Not because of, you have new leadership in the school district. And, it seems to be staggering of what does those numbers look like. And then there's like this struggle, what's allocated, what's not, and what the costs are. The cost is the cost. That's just, it is what it is. One way or the other, you're gonna be paying for it. So now we have to actually get an actuary to basically kind of tell us, this is what it should be. Nobody's disputing, like, we know there's a cost, but what is the actual cost? And, like, there's always a common denominator, but it's taken a very long time. And I would defend it that it's not the school district in this sense of what those are. Hopefully, this actuary can come back and there's an agreement, we can fix this, because everything just trickles back down right to finance, what we can hire or not. So now you're looking at some of these numbers that are going to be increasing, union contracts, SOA, disappearing if we don't get those funds. I just wish the power that is corrects this, and there's only one means of correcting this, to fix this financial crisis that we are in this city. Everything is revolving around, everything that's from the city side, school side, it all revolves around finance. And we have a magnitude of a high school that we desperately need, not just the high school, but schools across the district. And we have to sell that to the voters. And I don't think the support is going to be there if we have to rely on what the finances are and not getting a clear picture. It's very frustrating from sitting in these finance meetings from 24 on. And Mr. Mayor, you were invited to those, and it still continues, and it's frustrating that the district has to see what we have, enrollment increase, decrease. Thank you to the governor to, allocating some funds, but it's like, what are we going to do with those funds? So you get these funds, but yet we're getting hammered on this side because the decisions that were made back then of what the pension obligation is. Somebody screwed up mathing. So it has to be corrected. Like I said, new administration, city side mayor's office, school side superintendent's office, but yet the finance office is still a mess. And we don't have that authority to correct that. And hopefully a decision is made sooner than later, because it doesn't look pretty, and next year is going to be even grave. And there's some stuff to sit here and, I never thought I would be, as a school committee member, voting to, pink slipping and rifting and laying off educators because our community needs it. So hopefully that decision is made sooner than later. Thank you.
Ms. Oliver.
I think just to piggyback off Mr. Rodriguez, we're the problem. We're always going to be the problem. No matter what we say, we're always wrong, and we always get attacked on it. So at the end of the day, sometimes it gets a little bit frustrating and pointless to keep pointing out what is the issue. Because at the end of the day, I think each one of us are trying our best. We're trying to get the funds that our students deserve, but and unfortunately, some individuals would rather say that we're troublemakers instead of literally look at what's happening and not be such a cyberbully or type warriors that's so easily to attacked when we are really honestly trying to do the best we can. Being here for 3 years, it seems like it's just the same thing, just a different day. It's not changing unless the new administration, the new leaders do something about it. But I think the more we are speaking on this matter, it just basically we continue to be portrayed as the bad people, the troublemakers. So sometime at the end of the day, it's like, you know what, we'll let the chips fall where it needs to fall. And when people really realize that we're not the troublemakers, we're not here to start things, we have better things to do with our lives than constantly be doing the same thing over and over and thinking that it's going to change at the end of the day. Another thing that I wanted to just piggyback off Mr. Pina is supplies for classrooms and stuff. I remember when I lived in New York, it was mandatory. We would get a list at the end of the year for the next grade, and we had to bring in supplies. So the beginning of school year, you'll see a line of 100 parents with bags and bags of supplies. So when I moved to Brockton, I was like, where's the list at? what do I need to bring to my classroom? And my siblings was like, you don't need to bring anything in the classroom. But at the same time, I would bring stuff just to bring stuff. I think it's something, it's an option for the family. It's definitely a different environment than my daughter started in Long Island, New York, than what it is in Brockton. It's a whole different population and, people struggling more here than over there. So I think it's something that we need to look at and definitely try to support our classroom as much as possible with supplies. And if we can, some parents are able to and some parents are not, but it's not, it shouldn't, I don't think it's mandatory. I think it's just like, if they have a list and you see that they need it, especially during the winter month with the tissues, the paper towels, the hand sanitizers, those are things that they always ask more of. So I think it's just parents' discretion of what they want to help with. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Gomes?
I'll yield. My topic has been discussed already.
All right, the folks on the phone, do you guys have any questions?
No questions at this time. I don't have any. Thank you.
All right, ma'am, C, please.
Okay, item C is the review of the draft request for proposals for actuarial services. So this is in your packet. I know it was, I believe it was, yeah, you received it last week, and so I didn't know. We also sent it to the city for feedback, so we're happy to take any feedback.
Go ahead, Mr. Pino.
I know, obviously, because I had nothing better to do in my life, but I watched the city's meetings as well. So they had mentioned that they wanted to partake and be involved, and I know you just said that you had submitted that. And I know that there's also times when they are not as forthcoming with their responses. Has the city responded, and will they be involved?
When you say the city, what are you talking about, the electeds or the departments?
Well, I believe it was Mr. Clark. I don't like to use names, but I believe it was the individuals had mentioned that they wanted to be involved. It was not they were not elected officials.
Okay. Well, we want to make sure that, because I wanted to chime in a little bit before what Mr. Rodriguez was talking here in terms of trying to set a tone moving forward. We have some meetings coming up with DESI, DOR, and the Secretary of Finance to be able to tell us exactly what we need to be, or because we are not sure what the percentage is on the pension obligation bonds are. We're not sure what we can, charge on Schedule 19, not schedule. There's a lot of questions out there. We need to start getting these things answered as we move forward with this stuff. That's why we're setting up a series of meetings to get it directly from the horse's mouth, in a sense, so we know where we're going with this. And this particular process in terms of hiring someone, it's something that I support. We need to find out exactly where the numbers are, what they should be, where, because we got to be as transparent can be. As the superintendent has said, maybe it'll come down the line that we know that the schools owes a lot more money to that side. Now it's up to us to figure out how to balance that out, or the other way around as well. We need to kind of take that into account. So we met this morning at City Hall, and I believe that this is something that are we taking a vote tonight for this? Because I don't know if everybody did everybody have an opportunity to kind of go through this?
You said feedback.
Actually, I was going to ask, yeah.
Who?
I know you guys had discussed it. I mean, if you're ready to take a vote, sir.
Go ahead.
It's feedback everybody has. I don't know what the other members have, or if they want.
I mean, to me, there's not a lot of feedback. We're hiring the person, figure out how to put this out, and then once that process starts, then we can kind of go through it.
You guys get an opportunity to review it, make sure you're comfortable with the scope and everything.
No,
Yeah.
that was a recommendation through DESI. That was in a meeting,
Right.
to actually, and it wasn't something that was like a calm. It was like more of a directive. There's always been directives from the Commonwealth. That's just what it is. And when we're talking about these are numbers. Like, the numbers don't lie. It's all on where you move it and what you're getting and how you're spending it. We understand that, and this is I know this is the reason why this body, last legislative session, that's why I brought it forward to bring in the Madam State Auditor, not just on the school side, but the whole city. These are taxpayer dollars to come in and see what the structural issue is, if there's policies that need to be made, and how to fix this problem. Because if we don't have that, it's still continuing. It still continues. But we need to, all we're asking for is to see what the actual numbers are, how are you doing this math, and what the schools owe, pay, or what that is. So the superintendent and her team can say, this is what we can afford. And how is the city going to be able to support that? So the actuaries is one of the components, but at the same time, I think there should be a deeper look. And to bring the auditor in and show what the picture is. We owe that to the voters and the taxpayers, specifically our students. And hopefully we can put that on the agenda again for another vote and move it forward. And hopefully the folks on the city council side approves it as well, because we did it on this side. We owe it to the voters. 72% of the Commonwealth voted for it, and it's a disservice what our state legislators and state representatives are doing to the Commonwealth at this moment.
Mr. Gomes?
Yeah, no, I completely agree, and I am ready to move forward. I think my question was more so because the superintendent was looking for feedback, and that brought me back to when we did the audit and we didn't like the results because of the language that was incorporated. I want to make sure everybody's comfortable with the tasks that are listed here, that we're understanding what we're asking, so when the results come out, we're all comfortable. We feel like we've gone through and prepared enough to what we're requesting. But other than that, if the will of the committee is to move it forward, I'm more than comfortable to do so.
I just wanted to add to this. So the reason why we're doing and we're getting this is because we don't know what to ask, and we don't know, because none of you here are actuaries or accountants or forensic accountants. We don't know. I don't know, to be honest with you, what should be in there and what shouldn't be in there. I think this was an opportunity where we could have brought in some people from the community who could have come together really quick and put this together and helped us put this together, who actually do this for a living. We had two people in the community that ran for office, that one's an accountant and one's an actuary. I think reaching out to our resources could have helped in this, but I think it's more important now that we get the feedback and then we get a time frame and we get this out soon, because for the superintendent to come to us with a budget and understanding what is going to be laid out and having the meeting with DESI and so forth, I think that this is just something that that we all, I'll speak for myself, the budget process was delayed, slowed, and very much more cumbersome than I believe that it should have been. And I think that we should start it as soon as possible, and this is the first step. I yield.
All right, so go ahead, ma'am.
I believe the city, the CFO said that he would be able to get us his feedback by Friday.
By Friday.
Yeah.
No motion needed, I guess.
Do we want to set a date when we vote on this and get this moving, or what's the will of the committee?
Okay.
Go ahead, Mr. Bean.
I'm very concerned that now we're talking about September. I think that I'm going to make a motion. I make a motion that either we're going to have a special. I make a motion
It is what it is.
that we have a special school committee meeting to vote on this once we have the information and we put it forward, because I think it's that important.
Second.
All right, go ahead, ma'am, on the motion.
Is it possible, since we have not received any feedback thus far, for it to be approved? And then if feedback does come that makes it such that we have to revise it, that then we meet?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would say I'd amend my motion, make a motion to approve the
Request for
the
actuary.
request for the actuary as is, and then if needed, to be changed
At a special meeting.
at a special meeting.
Second.
All right, a motion, you're good, ma'am? Motion has been properly made on the motion?
I understand. So, speaking to the individual that was, kind of spearheading this, but this is a meeting that happened a while ago, and to have a feedback, I'm very confident that, why is the response why is it delayed on the city side to get this done?
No,
If
we
we're
met
asking
about,
for
we met
for
about it
feedback-
today. That's what we talked about, that we set a date that by Friday we would get whatever feedbacks we need to get back into it.
Okay. So once the individual, I don't know what the scope or what the finance office wants, but that obviously be brought to us because this was something that was indicated for the school district to do.
So I guess to your point, yes, we were told we needed an actuary. We got it together. We sent it around for feedback. And the reason it's on here is because we heard that folks might want to give feedback, but yes, we had not received any feedback as of today. And so you're right, it is getting delayed, which is why at this point I would prefer we just approve it, move forward. We did send it on July 22nd, so, we would like to be able to move forward.
Yeah, let's get it done.
All right, a motion has been properly made in second. Mr. Pina?
Yes.
Ms. Azak, did you want to say something?
Yes, on that motion. So I know, Mayor, you met today, but should we send something in writing from the school department that we need this by Friday? So we
did.
have something in writing? Oh, we did?
We did.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wasn't sure who was in the meeting, but okay, yes on that motion. As long as we have something in writing.
Well, so I think the confusion is because we sent it on July 22nd, and I think at the meeting on the 30th, it was said that there wanted to be feedback, but we had sent it for feedback. So I think that's the confusion right now is the timeline, because we had sent it for
Okay.
feedback already. But yes, if the city CFO would like to partake and like to provide feedback, then we had
Already
we
had
had
the
sent it to do
chance.
so. So if we need till Friday, and if we get any additional information on Friday, we're happy to then have a special, but.
Okay, then yes on that. Thank
Mr.
you.
Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ms. Oliver?
Yes.
Mr. Gomes?
Yes.
Ms. Centeo? Sandra, are you still on?
Yes, I'm still here.
All right, Mr. Sullivan?
Yes, yes.
All right, 7 in the affirmative, the motion passes.
D is the MSBA update. Would you like to provide?
Go ahead.
Oh, okay, all right, so yes, we are moving right along. In fact, I saw that that Left Field will actually be coming to many open houses that we're having in the fall in order to be able to talk to families. I believe you all already went to went on a school visit or about to go on a school visit to see one of the schools that we were able to visit earlier. And so, yeah, we continue to move along. We have decided to postpone our submission, which originally we were going to submit in December, but we are going to postpone it until January because we got some great news that the legislation is going to be changing and we could potentially get a greater amount of reimbursement if we wait until after January. So while we are prepared and ready to submit, it was actually their recommendation that we wait to make sure that we are maximizing our reimbursements.
And it could save us millions of dollars.
Yes.
Any questions on that? All right.
Item E is items to refer to subcommittee.
Do we have anything that we want to refer to a subcommittee? Ms.
No.
Ms. Azak?
More of a, just a question. So I know we had talked about doing a safety, traffic, and transportation prior to school opening. Has that been scheduled already? What are we waiting for, guys?
As of right now, hold on. We have a facilities coming up, and that's also in preparation for school starting in September. So some of those topics will be touched upon during that meeting
There
as
are
well.
two different subcommittees. I would recommend as a committee, we schedule it from now rather than wait till last minute. Many people are on vacation, many people are away. Safety, traffic, and transportation. Families want to know bus routes. What do we do? Same with our transportation. We usually have that before school starts. and they come in before us, they report before us, pretty much tell us how are we doing, where are we? So, to wait, to schedule it, we're August.
We can definitely schedule. The other thing too is, there's some people said they're going to be on vacation during.
I'm going to be away as well, so we're all
and
here.
So is some of the members, staff of our district. So I can coordinate to make sure we have a meeting, but not everybody's going to be here, and not all staff are available. People are on vacation, and we'll.
That's understandable, Vice Chair, but our families.
I think we couldn't find a date that worked for everybody to answer just very plainly, and so we'll keep working on it.
Yeah, it's just.
Even the facility as it is, that day is kind of. We had to push it to have policy today, but even that day for facility was kind of pushing it. With people being on vacation and some of you guys not going to be here regardless. So, but we can look for other dates to put in the traffic and transportation.
It's just, I know at one point someone asked what committees meet before school starts, what don't. And those, it really should, they do present to our community, our buildings, if we do have movement around next year, that's going to be a little different. But this year, again, we got to start getting stuff done.
I'll run it again by the members if we have a quorum.
It's going to be tough, Vice Chair, to have everybody be able to attend. And those that are able to attend, it's just our community needs to know, our families need to know, and it's something they can go back and watch. If the majority and you have a quorum, that's great. But many people are going to be traveling the next few weeks. So it's going to be really tough to get the whole committee of a whole, but it's information we have to get out to our community. So thank you.
No, I think we're on the same page. It's just a matter of getting the quorum. And I know a lot of people made plans for the end of this month as we've been having those conversations. But we can run it again and see if we have a quorum. We can definitely schedule something.
So no items to be referred, right? Okay. Numero 4.
Roman numeral 4 is the consent agenda.
Are there any items we want to take out?
Just 2 items for discussion. I wasn't sure if anyone else was going to.
I also have one I want to take out.
Okay, I was going to take out item B, but if someone else was going to take out item A.
I was going to take A.
Item A.
Okay, I'm going to take out item. That's fine. I was going to take out item B. Just for discussion on that, that's all.
Okay.
Do you need a motion to take them out?
Oh, yeah, motion to take item B out?
A and B.
A and B.
Motion to remove item A and B from the consent agenda for discussion.
Second.
Motion has been properly made in second. Mr. Pina?
Yes.
Ms. Azak?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez? Yes. Ms. Oliver?
Yes.
Mr. Gomes?
Yes.
Ms. Centello? Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
All right, A and B are taken out.
Yeah, I'll start with item A. This is something that's relatively new to me. I was recently, Lisa reached out to me, who used to run the TB12 Foundation. And the reason why they reached out is they had a donation for the Brockton Public Schools amongst 4 other organizations. The organization is dissolving, and the remainder of their assets had to be distributed amongst 5 charities, and we were one of those that were selected. I have here a little background. I won't read it because, save us some time, but they've had a partnership with us as far as I can see here since 2020, and it's been helping out our students athlete, providing services and coaching, so on and so forth. And they are making a generous donation of $85,917.10. And I would ask that this committee accept the donation that's being presented to us. And again, I wanted to express gratitude and appreciation for said donation.
Is that in the form of a motion?
Just on the A, it's definitely been going on for since 2020. I think my daughter was part of it while she was in high school, and it's a great program. I do appreciate it that TB12 continues to give this generous donation to our students. It's a co-ed, and they go to Patriots Place to, and basically they do a lot of like physical therapy and education about nutrition, how to prepare themselves for the physical, they're going to put themselves through like football or any sports they play here. I do like all the gears they do get. I end up keeping a lot of them, but it is a great program, and I think, and I really do appreciate they continue to come year after year to give this donation, and also bring in our students to participate over there with some of the athletics and some of the football players too. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Yeah.
Go ahead, sir.
Are these funds being directed to a specific category?
It's restricted to athletics, extracurricular, so on and so forth, use.
So is this going into the athletics budget?
It should be, it will come to, correct me if I'm wrong, to the general fund, and it'll be purpose, because it comes with that restriction to be used for athletics, the athletics, extracurricular, and other activities, yes.
Okay. It'd be really nice to get that equipment manager back. But I digress.
Further discussion, yeah. Well, right now we're just accepting it, let the money come in first.
Take the
and then-
money.
Let the money sit there.
All right.
But that's a form of.
Can I get a second to accept the donation?
Second.
The motion has been properly made in second. Mr. Pina?
Yes.
Ms. Oliver? Mr. Isaac?
Yeah, really.
I'm kind of getting you guys mixed up. You
Ice in a row.
guys kind of look
It's the
alike. to me.
Irish,
It must be the
Lebanese
hair.
Irish. Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ms. Oliver?
Yes.
Mr. Gomes?
Yes.
Ms. Centello?
Yes.
And Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
7 in the affirmative. Next, B, please.
Item B is the acceptance of the donation for Cradles to Crayons in partnership with myself. And they donated 6,500 backpacks filled with essential school supplies for Brockton Public School students. And the backpacks were actually distributed last Friday at Brockton High School. So I'll report on that another day, maybe in September, once we have a moment to thank our volunteers. It just happened. But I just wanted to acknowledge this donation and vote on it if the committee can, well, we gave it out, so approve it. So on that motion.
Go ahead, Mr. Pina.
On the motion, I just want to say it was my first experience with the backpack. I thought it was very well run. You had the Principal McCaskill out there directing traffic, yelling at everybody to stay in line and to move. You had all the volunteers and Joyce as well. I didn't last as long as I'm sure she did because of my back, but it was lucky that it didn't rain until, I think it was 15 minutes before it was supposed to end. But it was very well organized and put on, and I just wanted to make sure that I said thank you and congrats and good job.
Appreciate it. We'll do a presentation and really just thank everyone publicly. Thank you, Mr. Pina. And once we do this, we'll have to put the next donation on the agenda before it gets here. But so do you, a motion to approve item B, the donation of Cradles to Crayons is 6,500 backpacks to Brockton Public Schools students.
Seconded.
A motion has been properly made in second. Mr. Pina?
Yes.
Ms. Azak?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ms. Oliver?
Yes.
Mr. Gomes?
Yes.
Ms. Centello?
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
7 on the affirmative. Now can we get a motion?
Motion to approve item C and D, approve of regular school committee meeting minutes Tuesday, June 2nd, 2026, and approve of special school committee meeting minutes Wednesday, June 10th of 2026.
Second.
A motion has been properly made in second. I don't think we have to read it anymore. Mr. Pina?
Yes.
Ms. Azak?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ms. Oliver?
Yes.
Mr. Gomes?
Yes.
Ms. Centello?
Yes.
And Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
7 on the affirmative. Numeral 5.
It's unfinished business, and the first item is discussion and potential vote on the community schools position request. I know you all had a few questions about that, and I believe Dr. DeBarros provided you with some information, and she's here tonight as well to answer any questions you may have.
Do we want to, you want to come up and make a little presentation, and then we'll ask some questions? Welcome, Dr. DeBarros Montero.
Thank you for having me here tonight. And in the interest of time and efficiency, I think I have prepared a statement that I would like to read. And afterward, if you would like, you can ask questions, and I hope to have the answers for you. All right, and I gave you a copy. I'm here to respectfully ask that you reconsider the proposed elimination of the coordinator of community schools, recreation, and extracurricular programs position. It's a long title. This discussion is not simply about preserving a position. It's about preserving one of the 4 foundational pillars of the community schools model. The mission of the community schools of Brockton is to develop activities that meet the educational, cultural, recreational, and social needs of the community. Recreation is not an optional service for us. It's a core component of our mission and one of the reasons community schools exist. You just had to visit this last month and see the summer camps, that's all. Most of them are recreational. The community schools programming is built on 4 major programmatic areas: academic support, student enrichment, adult education and ESL, and recreation and enrichment programs for the community. Removing the coordinator responsible for one of these 4 pillars weakens the entire community schools of Brockton. The original job description, which you have in the packet, clearly demonstrates that this position was created to supervise and coordinate after school, evening, weekend, vacation, and summer programs. It includes responsibility for staffing, budgeting, scheduling, hiring, evaluations, facility coordination, and collaboration with principals, district leadership, and community partners. These are complex operational responsibilities that cannot simply be redistributed without affecting the programming. And you can see the job description that I attached. Since the position was established in 2019, the community schools recreation has expanded into a comprehensive citywide recreation system that now includes lots of programming like sports academy, and within that you have sports like boxing, volleyball, soccer, cheerleading, etc., middle school football, She Hoops girls basketball, Metro West Travel Basketball Partnership, strength and conditioning, driver's ed when it comes to managing the cars and stuff like that, youth and adult aquatics, public swim at the Manning Pool, ESY swim lessons, recreation clinics, etc. These programs serve children, teenagers, adults, and families throughout Brockton during evenings, weekends, school vacations, and throughout the summer, like I said before. They require year-round planning and hiring and budgeting, communication, safety oversight, etc. From a fiscal perspective, eliminating this position does not accomplish the intended savings that we're thinking. The employee currently holding this position is red circled, meaning the salary obligation remains even if the individual is reassigned to another position. Additionally, this position is funded through the community schools revolving account, not the district's general operating budget or the non-net allocation. Eliminating the position, therefore, does not produce meaningful savings to the district's general fund. Community schools already operates with a lean administrative team while continuing to grow. We have previously lost an administrative assistant position that managed our finances. Removing the operational leader responsible for recreation and extracurricular programming would significantly reduce our ability to sustain the quality, efficiency, and breadth of services our students and families have come to expect. Community schools is successful because it connects education, recreation, culture, and community. Recreation is not separate from education. It improves student engagement, supports attendance, promotes healthy lifestyles and relationships, and provides safe, structured opportunities outside of the regular school day. I'm going to skip this. When leadership is removed from one of the 4 pillars, we are not simply eliminating a position, we are weakening an entire program that directly serves thousands of Brockton residents every year. In closing, I want to express my serious concern regarding the proposed elimination of this position. These responsibilities cannot simply be absorbed by existing staff. Personally, over the past 2 years, I have already assumed significant responsibilities beyond my role due to staffing shortages, vacancies, and elimination of key positions. While I have done so to ensure our students, families, and community continue receiving the high-quality services they deserve, we have reached our operational limit. Eliminating this position would not only eliminate the work, it would simply transfer critical operational responsibilities to an already overextended administrative team. The result would be a decline in the quality, consistency, and sustainability of the programs our community depends on. I respectfully ask that the committee to preserve this position. Doing so, one of the 4 foundational pillars of the community schools, and ensures we can continue providing the high-quality recreational and extracurricular programs and opportunities that our Brockton students, families, and residents rely on. And I thank you for your time and for your thoughtful consideration.
Thank you, Dr. DeBarros-Montero. I appreciate it. I appreciate the time that I spent when I came to meet with you and when I was elected as well. I think that the reason why we paused on this and why we had questions was just because it was a little bit of a misunderstanding. Part of that is with the revolving account and the fact that we don't have insight. I'm not sure whether the superintendent does, but we don't have insight into that revolving account, so we don't know. That's one. 2 is in every other city and town in probably the country, your department would be under the Parks and Rec, not under the schools. So therefore, there was some other questions as to where there was so much carryover. With regards to some of the activities, the middle school football and some of the middle school activities being moved over to the assistant athletic director responsibilities, I believe, is what the collective bargaining had agreed to. So I guess I personally just had questions as to how healthy is the revolving account. If that individual is a teacher, are they being paid as a teacher with that salary, or are they being paid as an administrator? And what retirement system do they fall under with regards to that? And then also, if we knew more of what was in the revolving account and how that was spent, because we still, in our non-net spending, we asked the city to give I think we dropped it.
760 or something.
760, right, 760. So there is still funds going in there, and so as an oversight body, I just had those questions to see if, do you still need those funds to go in there? Obviously, you're going to say yes, but if the revolving account is that healthy and you can pay for this position, is that still a school position?
The short answer is yes, we can pay for that position and for at least 2 more positions. The revolving account is very healthy. The community schools account is very healthy. We have over $1 million in our accounts right now. Okay.
And I guess I would follow up with that and say, so the oversight that we have, if it's being spent on schools, is it the city's oversight because it's non-net? Is it our oversight? And are we watching what the funds are being spent on? Which I know the answer that we are doing it right now, but in like I had said, in every other town and city, that part, the recreation part, is with the parks. We have a very nice multi-million-dollar making a year golf course. That's part of the parks, recs, whatever. I mean, I think there's, I know that in the past, we as a city, we do things and then we don't change them back because it's just the way we've done them. So I'm not sure if keeping that department under us in general is still a good idea and whether it should be given back to the city and put under the Parks Department.
I'll go back and I'll answer the question that you asked before. If this person will be paid as a teacher or as an administrator. The person, because he is red circled, he will be paid as an administrator wherever he goes. So whatever salary he has right now, he will carry that salary with him. So we're not saving anything. Also, like I said in my letter, like I wrote, we pay the salary of this individual, and everybody else in the office is paid out of our own revolving account. So right now we have 4 coordinators. They get paid, with the exception of the one in charge of 21st Century. Everybody gets paid out of the revolving account. The Adult Learning Center is separate, as you know. We get grants for that. As far as the administrative team, the administrative assistants that we have in the office, they also get paid out of the revolving account. It's just myself and the person in charge of 21st Century. We get paid out of the non-net spending budget. As far as our budget, yes, it is very healthy. Yes, we can support this position. Going back to your point about recreational activities being moved over, the mission of the community schools is to support, like I said, the 4 pillars. So within those 4 pillars, we also have the recreational, which is different from what the Parks Department does. We focus on our students, our BPS students, and how we can create and we can have recreational activities for our students as well. And if we have students who are not attending Brockton Public but are residents of Brockton, or students who are not even residents of Brockton, they can still attend our recreational activities by paying a nominal fee. So that's different from what the Recs Department does. What we do, that we have done for the past few years, and Dr. Tahiliani knows very well, is that we have taken over the manning pool, the supervision, the running of the manning pool for the city side. When community schools was formed, it was formed with those 4 pillars, that we would be working under the oversight of the Brockton Public Schools. Brockton Public Schools Finance Department oversees our accounts and has the whole oversight of our accounts.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Discussion and potential vote.
Yeah.
What is the will of the... Go ahead.
Let me just get back to that. Hold on one second. Make a motion to...
That would be nice.
Oh, okay.
Yes. What's the will of the committee?
I make a motion to accept the community schools position as indicated in the provided documentation.
Second.
A motion has been properly made in second. Mr. Pino?
Yes.
Ms. Azak?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ms. Oliver?
Yes.
Mr. Gomes?
Yes.
Ms. Centello?
Yes.
And Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
7 in the affirmative, and it carries. All right, next item, please.
All right, the next item is discussion and potential vote on the approval to hire supervisor of attendance Jordan Cruz. This was on the April 7th school committee agenda, but we postponed it as we were in the midst of budget discussions. However, we would like to restructure this position or hire this position as a supervisor of attendance.
Go ahead, Mr. Pina.
So in looking at the budget and looking at what we have, so there's 3 total. We already hired the one. So are we just leaving the last one as the old?
No, not necessarily. We actually are identifying funding little by little, and so I have some other things that are, that will be coming on a future agenda.
So I guess, is he going first because he outranks her, has more time in service?
It's because this was the one that was on the agenda from April.
I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules and add the additional position to this and combine them both.
Second.
Go ahead.
I don't know because I don't have the name on the agenda if we can do that today and if we haven't followed the rest of the processes. So we're still in the
That's why I
midst.
suspended the rules, so that we can do that. So
No,
once,
but the rest of the regular hiring processes.
well, you can figure that out after, right?
Well, I mean, I think before, I have to put it over as a recommendation to approve. I would prefer,
I feel as though I don't think it's proper to do one and not the other.
then we can certainly wait on this
I
one.
think that,
What did you say? You can hang on to this one, or?
Then I would suggest postponing this one, not doing one that's not on the agenda. And
Yeah,
that is
let's
not-
postpone, because I'm a bit confused with,
I'm confused with the motion.
the motion was to suspend the rules and add the second position so that both positions go at once.
Do we have a candidate for the second position?
She's already in the position.
So what are we changing, the title of the individual, or the only, my concern is, this individual's been waiting since April, so I'm trying to figure out why are we continuing to delay this process and not put the other one on the next agenda? I'm just trying to figure out why we continue to delay this gentleman from getting the job started.
Well, it's the will of the committee, so if that's not the way you want to fly with it, it doesn't fly. All right. So you still want to stick with your motion?
Yeah.
Is there a second on Stephen's motion?
I seconded it for him.
You did?
I don't think we can.
Our attorney's here.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Sarah.
I guess I'm confused. Is the desire to make a certain person, is that your motion,
To
Mr.
ensure
Pina?
that both positions are equal.
So if you're establishing 2 positions, I think that's fine. The supervisor of attendance are actual people you need to approve as a committee. So I think the superintendent's right that it would be a violation of open meeting law if you approve somebody whose name is not on the agenda for a position. You can certainly approve and authorize her to make a recommendation. I think she can do that anyway. You don't need to approve that. A recommendation to the committee for a supervisor of attendance. But there would be a concern that because that second name wasn't on the agenda tonight, it would be a violation. It's not a rule we can suspend as a committee.
Okay.
So
yeah.
I remove my second.
And I take back my motion.
All right, Mr. Rodriguez, did you want to chime in?
Superintendent, this is just not hiring a new person, but just changing the job title, correct?
For these purposes, for the approval of the school committee, this is approval to hire the position. So the funding source or the restructuring is not what is on the agenda for tonight. As per Mass General Law, there are certain positions that must be approved by this group and must be recommended by me and placed on the agenda, and this is one of them. So all I'm asking for tonight is approval to hire, which means that everything else has been done as far as like budgeting, hiring processes, all of that. So that's what I'm asking for.
Mr.
So we
Pina?
don't have the money for the other person? Is that why the other one wasn't put forward?
So we are still in the midst of the process that we need to go through for that one.
And then the recommendation will come to the committee
Yes.
from her. Right. So,
Can I put a motion to approve the higher supervision of attendance Jordan Cruz?
Second.
a motion has, any questions on the motion? All right, a motion has been properly made in second. Mr. Pina?
Yes.
Ms. Azak?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ms. Oliver?
Yes.
Mr. Gomes?
Yes.
And Ms. Centeo?
Yes.
And Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
7 in the affirmative, it carries.
Roman numeral 6 is new business. The first item is discussion and potential vote on the BPS student parent handbooks, 2026-2027, and the first read was on July 7th, 2026.
Any discussions? Go ahead, Ms. Oliver.
Well, we
Ms.
would-
Azak.
We would probably make a recommendation because we voted on North Middle making the uniforms mandatory. So that's before these books, I mean, that's after these booklets were given to us. So if we just want to make that revision for North Middle School as far as the uniform, other than just little things, nothing major that I found.
Would you like to make that an motion so we can?
Sure. So are we going to do it for a second read or a final read? Because it just
Vote
says
now. Oh, we would
first
like it
read.
approved now before the school year starts.
Yeah, so it just says first read.
No, that it was first read back.
It was first
in-
read.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
It's been a long day.
Yeah, no kidding.
So then a motion to approve the BPS Student Parent Handbooks 2026-2027 school year with the exception of the revision for North Middle School to add that we voted this evening for their uniform.
Second.
A motion has been properly made and amended at the same time. Mr. Pina?
Yes.
Ms.
Azak, yes.
Azak? Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ms. Oliver?
Yes.
Mr. Gomes?
Yes.
Ms. Centeo?
Can't get the Rodriguez name wrong.
Rodriguez 1, Rodriguez 2. Centeo? Is she awake on that thing there?
Sandra?
Sandra, are you there?
Yes, I am. Yes.
Okay, Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
7 in the affirmative, the motion passed as amended. Next one, please.
Discussion and potential vote on FY 2027 school bids, number BPS 2026-024 roof repairs and maintenance services, and number BPS 2026-016 refrigeration and air conditioning services.
All right, so we take this separate. Somebody make a motion for 024, the roof repair.
Motion for FY 2027 school bids, BPS 2026-024 roof repairs, repairs and maintenance service.
Second.
A motion has been properly made in second. Mr. Pina?
Yes.
Ms. Azak?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez? Ms. Oliver?
Yes.
I was going to do it on purpose, but
I know.
Yes.
Is that a yes?
That was a yes?
Mr. Gomes?
Yes.
Ms. Centeo?
Yes.
And Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
7 in the affirmative. Next one?
Motion for BPS 2026-016 refrigerations and air conditioning service.
Second.
A motion has been properly made in second. Mr. Pina?
Yes.
Ms. Azak?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ms. Oliver?
Yes.
Mr. Gomes?
Yes.
Ms. Centeo?
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
7 in the affirmative. Next one, please.
Discussion and potential vote policy subcommittee meeting August 4th, 2026.
How did we finish with that one? Mr. Vice
I'll
Chair?
speak on the ones that we recommended favorably to this committee. So earlier today, around 5 p.m., we had our policy subcommittee meeting, and the body voted favorably to recommend 4 policies to this for a first reading, which was policy BEC, executive sessions revised by council based on requests from school committee members. Policy KE, public complaints revised by council based on request of the committee. Policy JLCD, administration of medication to students mask proposed revisions, and policy JLCD-C, self-administration and self-carry of medications, mask proposed revisions. Those were all recommended favorably. Per legal counsel, we're not doing the final vote today. It'll be placed on the next regular meeting for adoption and final vote.
So we're making a motion to postpone this? Or,
Do we need to? It's just the first read, so we don't have to vote on it today.
okay. All right, good.
Second. I
It's
thought you
not
made a motion
It's just
to
the,
postpone. No?
no, we don't need a motion. It's
sorry.
just the first reading, and then it'll be on the next agenda
day.
for
Yeah,
a
see, on the
vote.
city council, everything is made into a motion and second and voted in. Go ahead, Ms. Oliver.
No, I just wanted to, there was a new business I just wanted to mention.
Go ahead.
It's not on the agenda, but just wanted to bring up that on September 26th, and also I'll get clarification from legal if we do need a vote on this, but September 26th from 10 to 1 at the Shaw Centers, the Mental Health and Wellbeing Subcommittee is going to be holding a community event Shaw Center, so more advertising and more information is going to be going out, but I just wanted to put on a new business and just clarification with the legal team if we do need a vote, but I think that me asking so far is like we do not need a vote to have this event to happen.
Well, I know you have an announcement, but can you wait until the announcement, because we have one more item?
Actually,
One of them is, I think, a new business.
Well, go ahead then.
So the police department is also doing a community event, engagement event at the fairgrounds, and they're looking for our support, the school committee, the school district. Superintendent, I don't know if you can pull up that email. I don't have it with me, exactly what kind of support they're looking for. I just wanted to share with the committee the exact support they're looking for this school committee, if we're willing to provide our assistance for their community event as well.
So yes, so generally, I believe the food is already provided, so it is just Chartwell's that provides us the service. So in the past, we have donated the labor cost between $1,800 and $2,500. The reason it's a range is because it depends on which staff members are working and whether or not they worked 40 hours during the course of that week already. So this is something that we have done for the last 4 years. This would be the 5th year of us providing this service donation.
Ms. Sazak, I noticed you had something you wanted to say.
yes, actually, if we can just go back to Ms. Oliver's announcement. So we have our attorney here. It's a great event. It's not that I'm against it, but I just didn't think a subcommittee can put on a workshop. It should be a recommendation to the committee of a whole, and then the committee would make the recommendation to have this event. In all of my years, I've never seen a subcommittee put on its own private event, because that's excluding, well, it's a subcommittee event, but our attorney can clarify.
So I don't know much about it, but it sounds like there's can you just give a little bit more of is it something that has cost associated
No,
with
it is no cost associated. It will be vendors that we partner with that will have different tables. For example, like DDS or Health Mass, also SNAP, and the police department to do the cadet programs. Just basically bringing all the resources right to the fingertip to our family members and just support them like other mental health organizations in the city. They would like to speak to, getting resources about treatment. So those are basically what we're planning on. There's no money involved. There's nothing like that.
Okay.
So my question on that is, material that's given out, I mean, if the committee's name's going to be on something, we should review what material is given out, especially if the school's part of it, if it's a Brockton Public Schools school committee, that's all. I'm not against it, Ms. Oliver, but my questioning is I've just never seen a subcommittee put on its own event when it should just be the whole committee. a recommendation to the whole committee. We just want to make sure we follow the right process, because the subcommittees are there to make recommendations to the committee of a whole, not to hold their own events, unless I'm misinformed, but
It's a new request for me. Typically, subcommittees can't take any action on their own. They just make recommendations to the full committee. I guess if it's not until the end of September, that we have plenty of meetings between now and then.
Yeah.
I certainly see no reason it can't, helps publicize it as well, go before the full committee for a vote to, it would be a recommendation out of the subcommittee to the full committee for a vote. I don't know offhand, I'd have to look into whether it could happen without a vote of the full committee, but my understanding is typically subcommittees cannot take action on any item on their own.
Yeah, and I completely understand that, and I get it too, Ms. Azak's point of view, and I think that's why I wanted to put this on the new business and get clarification. If I have to, book a subcommittee meeting of mental health and well-being, we'll do that and bring it to the whole committee. I think it's a great event. I think it's something that, instead of just giving flyers or different website for our families to go look for certain information they need, I think it's something that this is our neighborhood partners that we're working with, right? And I think that we're not selling anything, we're not giving advice. I think it's something if family want to participate, they're welcome to come and take the resources they need, especially helping them out with how to fill out insurance application, especially with Mass Health or with SNAP or any other individuals that they need support with. So there's a group of vendors. I can also give you the list of vendors that I'm working with Dr. LeBeau and the team to make sure that we have these partners that we work daily with. And I think it's just basically bringing all of them under one roof at one time. Thank you.
But it's a committee event. The committee should all be.
I understand that, Ms. Azak. I just said that I have no problem the legal team
No, Ms. Oliver.
clarifying it.
I think.
No,
I'm just saying, 1 minute.
got
I'm
it.
just saying, if there's a list of vendors, the committee should be vetting them out, not just one member.
I will gladly send an email with the
Thank you.
vendors. Thank you.
That's all, because at the last mental health and well-being subcommittee, it was mentioned, and we should have voted on it to bring it to the committee of a whole. I'm not against it, but we need to follow the right process. That's my only questioning, is making sure we follow the right process, because the subcommittee is just there to make recommendations. And the rest of the committee members that don't serve on that subcommittee should also have the opportunity to be involved in that event.
Mr. Vice Chair.
On two other matters, we actually have folks from the police department that would want to speak on the event coming up, if we can.
So are we good with yours?
I am so good.
You're so good. Okay.
We can
go ahead.
give them a second to just.
Sure.
Good evening, everyone.
Sergeant.
I'll try to make this quick because I know everyone's tired.
I think you just broke the microphone, but it's
I'm
okay.
sorry, did I? So I'm just asking for the support of the school department. This would be our 5th First Responder Community Jamboree that we've done here in the city. It's an amazing event. The community bands together. We have different agencies, just to give you an idea. These are just some of the stakeholders. We have, obviously, you, and we hope that the partnership continues. Brockton Community Schools, we have Chartwell's, Love Ken. We have Lady C&J Cafe, Shaw's Supermarket. They're our biggest supporter. They pay for all of the food, all the food. This is a free event. They provide all of the food, the hamburgers, the hot dogs, the snacks, the water, the chips, the cookies. They provide it all. Brockton Fire Department, Mass State Police, Brewster Ambulance, Brockton Emergency Management Agency, BAT Bus, the Plymouth County District Attorney's Office, Plymouth County Sheriff's Department, Brewster Ambulance, Old Colony YMCA, Brockton Boys and Girls Club of Metro South, and Safe Corners. Those are just some of our stakeholders. I'm super passionate about this event because I feel like it's a way to really bring our community together. We don't have the Brockton Fair anymore. So for me, growing up in the city, there's a nostalgia that's attached to having any event that's up there. So I'm just asking for the continued support from the school department to be able to help us with certain things, not everything, just certain things. And to be more specific, What I'm asking for, and Ken has been an amazing support system through the facilities department. We usually ask for the support to have our porta potties that we need. We ask to have 2 handicap accessible porta potties and then 6 regular porta potties because we have a good turnout every year, and every year it gets bigger and better. We also ask for 20 tables, 75 chairs, 6 trash cans, some extension cords for like our popcorn, our snow cone machine, cotton candy, that sort of thing. And we already have the approval from the Carney family that owns that property to use the property, so they're one of our good partners as well. As far as from the food services department, where we're asking for support as well from the school side, I work very closely with Tom Burke. He's been absolutely amazing. And long of the short, and you said it best, Superintendent, it would be to cover the expenses for those 4 cafeteria workers, which would include 1 worker to cook on the grill. They would then provide 6 6-foot tables for the assembly food line, serving stations, the portable refrigerator, the grilling station, the utensils for grilling and serving, and access to the BHS freezer for food storage. So collectively, that's what we would be asking for, and this is something that Brockton Public School has assisted us with for the last 4 years, and we're hoping that this can continue even past 2026, but that's just to be more specific.
Ms. Oliver.
Thank you. It's a great event. I've been to it twice already, 2 years in a row. And one of my favorite things is I do appreciate Shaw's do give bags of fruits and some vegetables in there, and a lot of families do need it. So I do see all the work that Shaw's has partnered with the police department. And definitely if you can bring Starbucks back, because the last time their drinks were so good, they were giving free samples. But I do think that's something that we should partner and continue to partner with the police department, because it's a great event. And I have noticed that as the year keeps going, it is getting bigger and bigger, and there's more families coming. They also give out free backpacks, they give school supplies. So there's a lot of vendors out there that really, really do great things for the community.
Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
I also just wanted to clarify too, sorry. So I mentioned the amount that it costs for the food services, but also for the portable toilets and for the custodian to support with all of the other equipment. It does cost around $2,000. And so we have partnered on this in the past, and it does benefit our students and families. But again, we're just trying to make sure that we're doing everything appropriately, which is why it's coming before you tonight.
Mr. Rodriguez and then Mr. Pina.
Unbelievable event. Go every year. So, number one, I just want to know if we can actually take action on this, because it's not on the agenda, so we want to maybe follow the rules.
Yeah, you can.
The other piece is, correct me if I'm wrong on this, is this like a facilities rental request? Because are we using the building there, or we're just providing the staff?
Providing the personnel and the.
We have the building that's being utilized, so it should be just be for huh? Okay.
It's at the fairgrounds.
Okay. No, because all right. Because we were in there, that's where the Promise High School was. So we had that lease. So, and the transportation department is in there. So I'm just, how does that, Ken, I don't know, you know better than me. It seems like it's a facilities request, just.
So that's why we didn't have them do a facilities request in the past, and I know that that has been something that's been brought up here, which is why we flagged it to be brought in front of the committee. I think because we're not quite sure how this fits into those processes already, if the school committee does want to approve this, even though it's not exactly a facilities rental. So the best way we could consider it was a donation, which is why. And you're right, it's not on the agenda because, again, we were trying to figure out how to work through this because we didn't do it like this last year. And so we can put it on the agenda officially for the next time, but we wanted to at least be transparent and get the group's feedback.
But I think, Madam Superintendent, the event is on the 15th. So.
Yeah, but it's happening before our next meeting, right?
All right, so.
We can suspend and.
That's what I was going to get, the legal counsel. I just want to make sure that we can, so we don't get flagged. Are we able to suspend this and take this action tonight where it's a donation? Or, I mean.
So
it's the same reason I gave Mr. Pina. It would be the same reason that I gave Mr. Pina, that we can't suspend open meeting law. The one thing that I just thought about is you could, if you don't agree to donate it tonight, frankly, you wouldn't invoice the police department until after our next meeting. So when the invoice comes due, that could come before the committee, and you could vote to waive the invoice for these services. And so that vote wouldn't have to come before you tonight. So that way, at least, you could take a vote on this when the invoice comes due.
Guess that's the plan.
Mr. Pina, go ahead.
Yeah, so great event. I heard there was going to be a dunk tank, a dunk-a-cop, and then also a dunk-a-mayor, I believe there was going to happen.
No, it's a Duncan School Committee member.
I'll go in if you do.
Sure.
But this is to the superintendent. This is something that if we want to partner with on a yearly basis and kind of to codify it, can we put this into the budget and just make this a line item under the school committee to ensure that on a yearly basis that we budget $2,000, $3,000, whatever it is that we need to budget to ensure that it doesn't have to come before us like this again, and that we are doing things in a proper manner. Thank you.
Good point.
I appreciate that. And yes, we will have the dunk tank there, but it'll be a cadet inside of that.
I think the sergeant looks better on the tank.
No, thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Sergeant Anderson. Okay, so we got the event on the 15th, and then we'll take care of the details after the fact. Okay. Numeral 7, please.
Is the school safety and security item for our police liaison? Nothing.
Got nothing?
Happy
Okay.
summer. Yay.
Any announcements? Go ahead, Mr. Gomes.
Just a brief announcement. It also goes to the school committee members. Thursday, there is a tour of the Attleboro High School for school committee members. It's also open to the public. It's at 10 a.m., so anybody that's interested to go and take a look and see what these new buildings, these new high school constructions come with, you're more than welcome to do so, and strongly encouraged for our residents to go and see what we're looking forward to obtaining as well. So,
cool. Mr. Pina.
On August 25th, I'll be having a athletics, arts, music, and extracurricular subcommittee meeting with the agenda forthcoming. I'd also like to say that I finally got on the agenda, just in a bad way, but thank you for putting me on the agenda. Appreciate it, buddy. Appreciate it.
Ms. Azak.
Thank you, Chair. Can we just, have we picked a date to do the unveiling for the stage? I'm sorry?
It was supposed to be with Chicago, but I guess it went to Indiana instead of Chicago.
Homecoming. Okay.
She has to work with Hogan. You gotta work with Bob Hogan.
I can't work with anyone. Can BPS work with them? I'm straight out to coordinate an event. Could we just get the music department to coordinate with, just to do the unveiling? It's what event? I mean,
The dedication of the stage.
yeah, we've been talking about it for a while now. We just
A
need to
year.
do, yeah, more than that.
That I know of.
We were supposed to have a gala and a big unveiling, so I have people that have been emailing me, asking me, so I'm just questioning. I can't organize an event, but I'm just
Can we just
asking.
coordinate that and pick a day and do it? Call it quits? Go ahead, Mr. Pina.
When we had last discussed this, we had mentioned that it would fit in well with homecoming, and where we could have an event maybe the night before the homecoming game. If we're looking at raising funds, maybe having a sort of like a gala to raise some funds, but also to do the unveiling.
Go ahead, Ms. Oliver.
The homecoming, though, it's at the stadium, but the stuff is in here.
The night before.
The night before? Because I know that, I'm not sure exactly, I think the band camp ends like the end of August. So I'm not sure exactly, like, even like the first fall concert or something that could also happen, like the night they have their first concert, but it's something that we need to like let the directors of, the music department to be told ahead of time so they can plan it too. Because I know they have a very, very busy schedule with not only the band, but also like the jazz and everything else. So I think it's something that we need to discuss with the directors, if they even have time to even coordinate that also, because they are very busy.
Mr. Pina?
That'll be put on the agenda for the Athletics, Music, Arts, and Extracurricular Subcommittee.
And then we can schedule ribbon cutting for the stadium once the track is done. And then we also have the track shack that was built that they want to name after a certain individual as well. So we
I don't know about you, but that field looks...
On that, Chair, if they're gonna, the building name will have to come before the building committee, so if we can get that, yeah, you already know? If you can just provide the contact, okay.
Yeah, I'll have them contact you.
So we might want to do that
Do a building name,
soon.
do that ASAP, and then that way they can approve it and send it to the committee of a whole.
Because Ken, when you think the whole stadium will be done?
3 weeks.
Couple weeks? Okay. So can we schedule a meeting of that committee and come up with
Maybe
a
after
name?
September 1st. I will be out of the country.
You'll be out of the country from now until September. Where are you going?
I cannot disclose that, Mayor, cannot
Not
disclose
close.
it.
Jesus.
Just put it all over social media.
I just had a quick question regarding the band camp, regarding the fact that they're going to be at Massasoit College. Are we going to make sure that we're basically bringing them their lunch to the Massasoit College? And also, do we ever had a discussion about providing transportation for the students that cannot get a ride from here to Massasoit?
Madam Superintendent?
I just realized.
Just a clarification, because I know the band camp is about to start, and I just wanted to know if there was any discussion about transportation to the students that cannot.
Ken is
get to Massasoit.
waving at you.
I can't hear you.
He said they met last week and they took care of
Last
it.
week to discuss that. Yeah, because the students will have to get rides, and a lot of parents do work, so it's going to be a little struggle, but I know that we have to make the sacrifice for the field, but just to make sure that we also make it easier for the parents and the students to be able to participate in band camp without risking not getting there because families are working and they can't get there. Thank you.
Okay. Numero 9, please.
So we have 4 items for executive session, although I believe the first one we need to postpone. So should I read that separately? Oh, I don't have to read it. Okay, so we're going to postpone that one, so I'll just read the other 3. So the first one is pursuant to MGL Chapter 30A, Section 21A7, to comply with or act under the authority of any general or special law or federal grant and aid requirements, Massachusetts open law to review and approve executive session minutes. The second item is pursuant to MGL Chapter 30A, Section 21A2, to conduct strategy sessions in preparation for negotiations with non-union personnel or to conduct collective bargaining sessions or contract negotiations with non-union personnel for Assistant Superintendent of Finance, School Business Administrator. And third item is pursuant to MGL Chapter 30A, Section 21A1, to discuss the reputation, character, physical condition, or mental health rather than professional competence of an individual, or to discuss the discipline or dismissal of or complaints or charges brought against a public officer, employee, staff member, or individual. Mr. Stephen V. Pina, Ward 1, Brockton Public School Committee member, open meeting law complaint.
Can I get a motion to go into executive session?
Motion to go into executive session.
Second.
A motion has been properly made in second. Mr. Pina?
Yes.
Ms. Azak?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ms. Oliver?
Yes.
Mr. Gomes?
Yes.
Ms. Centello?
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
7 in the affirmative. For the folks that are watching us at home, we will be not returning into session after the executive session. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion has been properly made in second to adjourn. Mr. Pina?
Yes.
Ms. Azak?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez, are you still here? No, okay. Miss Oliver?
Yes.
Mr. Gomes?
Yes.
Miss Centeo?
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
Having no further business, this meeting is adjourned.